I was just thinking, one of the biggest ironies about misogyny is that it convinces men to only take other men seriously. It tells them they can only seek counsel from other men. They can only build true community with other men. They can only be in true collaboration with other men. They can only show respect to other men. And women are just decorations meant to make babies and have sex with. So only other men can build true intimacy with you under the guise of misogyny, right? And yet, in the next breath, it also convinces those same men to be homophobic. Baby, how are you against the gays when socially one could argue you are the gays? The fact that a framework of thinking, a worldwide global system of oppression is so inherently homoerotic while also being homophobic, y'all need to carry the one. The math is not mathing on this. Which is why my favorite genre of straight man is straight men who can be really good friends with gay men while also treating women well. Because at that point, you have mastered masculinity. If you are a straight man who can have gay male friends and treat women well, to me, you have figured this man shit out. Because it means that the tenderness and the community and the full scope of masculinity is open to you. And none of that is being used as an excuse to treat women like shit. The rest of y'all niggas, though, I don't know, child. Go call the lady.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly gay folks still weren't outlawed, who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant. You need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or what have you, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
Let's discuss, guys. Hey, family. So welcome to a special installment of Bluecentric Live. Today we're going to be doing a thing that I've been wanting to do for a while called Unpacking Social Media Shenanigans. You guys know that I tend to do like really dedicated deep dives or very intentional hot topics episodes, but it feels like, hold on, where's my napkin? Because you know, the Gen Zers always make fun of millennials for not wiping their camera. Is my camera wiped? Oh, it is. Okay, look at God. And that's how you know it's not filtered. It's my real face. But there is a lot of conversations that we have that are like big. I want to create a space where we can talk about a bunch of random internet shit. Because there's so many videos in my phone of many internet shenanigans conversations that I want to have with y'all. And I'm always like, oh, it's not enough to make a whole show. Well, child, we going to make a gumbo out of all this shit, right? And oh, for those who love my earring, yeah, I think I'm getting to the age now where I can't walk around with earrings like this. This earring is tugging a little bit. If I wasn't sitting still, I wouldn't be able to wear this. Is anybody else like this where they can't actually walk around and have earrings? So yeah, now that I realize that I can't walk around in these earrings, they're just going to be my sitting on camera earrings. But anyways, though, today is going to be our first installment of Unpacking Internet Shenanigans. Also, I've been eating blackberries. Now I look like Carlos. If you see any berries in my teeth, let me know. Welcome to the show. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a family, welcome back. If you are a member, you're in for a ride because we're going to be doing a lot of extra special members content this week in particular. And today is a response episode. But before we get to responding to Sydney, for those of you who watched the video about Sydney and who had a lot to say, I love that she's here to talk to you guys directly. Before we talk to Sydney, let her respond to us though. I want to first respond to myself Because yesterday, was it yesterday? Damn, it was yesterday. Yesterday, I did a video about Love Island. And in the video, I unpacked all the ways that I finally come to understand that Zach and Bryce from Love Island have a very homoerotic relationship. In fact, that homoerotic relationship is what prompted me to make the video that I just played at the top of the show. And however, I have recognized that while there are valid concerns about Zach being bisexual and keeping it a secret from Trinity, not Trinity, well, Trinity and Kata, to be honest, and the implications of that, there have been some concerning iterations of that conversation that has been homophobic. If I in any way have made homophobes feel like we are kindred, I want to come on here and say we not. Be who you are, off key on purpose. We are not kindred. This is not a space for homophobia. In fact, the reason why I made that video that I just played is because I want you guys to understand, even though it is diabolical as fuck that Zach might be gay, queer, bisexual, however he wants to define himself, and wasting the time of women who don't know that about him while openly flirting and looking at the penis of another man. Whole other topic. Also, though, there's nothing wrong with straight men being friends with gay men. I don't want the two things to get conflated. I feel like some of you saw us giving Zach the sad eye, and you took that to mean that straight men and gay men can't be friends, when in reality, I think it's really important for straight men to be able to be friends with gay men without us calling them DL. So before Sydney comes up and we do her segment, we're going to do a quick 5 or 10 minutes on why I am passionate about, and not just the Obama clip was to make you realize I'm not just the only one saying. I feel like a lot of times when I make these points that seem radical, you see a fave of yours, repeat it, and suddenly it makes sense to you. That's why I added, hey, even the former president that y'all call your faves agree with me on this. And yes, I know Barack Obama used to be homophobic and he evolved. Shout out to evolution, right? So we're going to discuss really quickly why it's important for
I saw the clip of
let me make the video. Why it's important for straight men and gay men to be able to cohabitate with each other. Number one, I've already stated in the previous video, and Obama even stated, it's important for straight men to be friends with gay men because straight men need the level of insight that Black men who are gay, queer, bisexual, etc., have about being aligned with femininity. If you're new here, we always say homophobia steeps from misogyny. The reason why we have a problem with gay men is because gay men remind us of women, right? So anything that reminds you of women is weak. That is misogyny, right? So because homophobia is a branch on the tree of misogyny. Ooh, I like that. I'll put that in the book. Because homophobia is a branch on the tree of misogyny, we all know why it's important for straight men to confront men who remind them of women. I don't think, though, somebody said he is bi and going to get Bryce really confused. Yeah. I don't think, though, we often talk about the other way around. I don't think, though, we talk about why it's important for gay men to also be friends with straight men as part of the development. Because I know so many queer men who think they're magical daffodils because, oh, straight men accept me, so I'm different from you other homos, right? And it takes a gay man being friends with a non-homophobic, every word in that sentence matters. It takes a gay man being friends with a non-homophobic straight man to recognize that he does not have to other himself or be a pygmy in order to be friends with straight men. So I found this guy, because you guys know whenever I have a thought, I go on the TikToks and the Instagrams and the threads looking for somebody who can co-sign it to make sure that I'm not making this up in my head. A young man who saw the Barack Obama video did a response where he talks about how as a queer man, for him, it's just as important to have straight men friends as it is for straight men to have queer friends. We often act like it's queer eye for the straight eye. Sorry, what's that show called? Yes, queer eye for the queer guy for the straight eye. What's that show called? Shout out to Karamo and them. I forgot about the show. Well, not the rest of them because they were being mean to Karamo. But you know those shows where gay men come and save straight men? We don't talk about how it's actually mutually beneficial. All right, let's watch this real quick.
Barack Obama saying that straight men should be friends with gay men to learn empathy and basic things. I actually also think that the opposite is true. I have been so enriched by my relationships with straight men, and I've always really had straight male friends, close, best male friends, because there is this affirmation of boyhood and malehood that you get from being around kind straight men. There's this healing that comes because so often gay boys have been traumatized by straight men, and it sort of corrodes and perverts like the entirety of like our entire understanding of men. And we're like, all men.
The only people who I know say men are unsafe more than women is gay men. And whenever they say that, I always look at them like, how does it feel for you to say a sentence that includes you, even though it's not about you? Because you're men, right? I always say this, gay men are men. In fact, I know so many queer men who up until we became friends did not know that they could be misogynistic. I said, well, brother, when did you stop being a man? So I like where he's going with this.
Men are bad, but it's like, diva, you're actually also a man. And like when you are not centered in a male identity as a cisgender man, that actually can lead us as gay men back to the road of misogyny, right? Because we don't have a grounding North Star of like our place in the world, and we think that we are not a part of malehood.
And the reason why this is important and also dangerous not to acknowledge is because in the same way that radical white people think that because they're radical, they're not still white, they sometimes often end up being, sometimes and often, not me saying both at the same time, they both fit. They sometimes often end up being more dangerous than MAGA. Because I know to keep MAGA outside. I'm inviting you, not to the barbecue, I don't believe in that, but I'm inviting you into my house, into my heart, into my community, because you're purporting to be safe, but that same safety is still stopping you from chin checking yourself the way you would your cousins and your grandma at Thanksgiving. In the same way that white women who are feminists are sometimes the most racist because they think that being white women and being feminist and being radical absolves them of their whiteness, right? Gay men who do not confront that they are still men can also be incredibly misogynistic, if not more than straight men sometimes. And so the relationship between these two groups need to happen so it can be a Spider-Man. They call out each other so the ladies can take a nap. Yes, I am pushing for gay men and straight men to have healthy relationships and chin check each other so I can take a day off, personally.
You know, and we've been taught to believe that we are not a part of malehood, but we are. Gay men, we are men. And first of all, I think just like having boys and being like, oh my God, I am a boy. Like boys like me, cool. Like that is, I think our inner child gets so much healing. But also I think it's important on the road of becoming a holistic, responsible man is again to know where I fit in the food chain, in the Venn diagram. And I get that.
I'm going to pause it again because I love this video so much, by the way. He's basically saying, how can I take accountability if I'm not even properly plotting myself on the spectrum? How can I acknowledge the way that I, as a man, queer or otherwise, might unintentionally be contributing to misogyny and causing harm to women and femmes if I won't even admit my manhood, if I won't even sit in my manhood, if I won't stop othering myself from straight men? This feels like church on a Tuesday. I love this.
Understanding from being around other men and being like, ooh, when I'm walking down the street in a group of men, I'm gay, they're straight. The women don't know that.
Exactly.
They don't understand. So there's like an understanding of how I can mitigate my own preconditioned misogyny by being in community with good, kind, smart, responsible straight men.
Just happened with Obama.
Now, here's the thing. We just talked about what happens when healthy gay men and healthy straight men get together. But let's talk about when the rest of them see videos like the Obama video. I don't want to be conflated with a homophobe. I also don't want to be conflated with a pick-me. All right. There are some men in my community in particular, who saw the Obama video and they were not moved. And I think it's also important that we identify what the alternative to healthy manhood looks like in response to this premise that men of all orientations need to be in community with each other.
He said he feels all young men should have a gay man in their life.
Valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college who became one of my favorite professors.
By the way, I'm going to rebuke this statement. Someone said, I'm all for this. Here's the thing. It's impossible for men to understand, regardless of relentless proof, how insanely horny men are. These friendships often lead to more than intended. That's actually homophobic. Because what you're saying is that gayness is restricted just to sexuality and that it's impossible for a straight man to be in the presence of a gay man without something predatory happening. I'm going to have to vehemently disagree with that. There are straight heterosexual men who can be around gay men without sucking their dicks, respectfully. And if you do hang out with a gay man and do give him fellatio, you're queer and you're figuring it out. Let's not do that thing where we act like everything gay is predatory. Let's not. And also saying men are horny is also dismissive, as if men are not allowed to have the same integrity that we expect from women. I know women who can out horny any man you know. So respectfully, this is not me picking on you. It's me saying that same side eye you're giving right now is part of the problem. Let's continue.
I seen that and I'm like, what is the agenda to just push that forward? Why?
What is the agenda to push forward men of all orientations having each other's backs while we're in the middle of a male loneliness epidemic? Y'all need friends. What is the agenda for helping you have better friends, more friends, rigorous friendships, without having something like homophobia stop you from the rest of your community? What is the agenda? Bro, are you okay? Actually, I already know the answer.
Especially a black man's masculinity might be one of the most offensive things in America.
I think when you're married, you're subject to catering to what your wife and your kids think.
When you're married, you're subject to catering to what your wife and your kids think. So what this man is about to do is dismiss progressiveness, dismiss inclusion, dismiss humanizing people who are different from him, and say that I know I can't talk about the gays because my wife and kids told me not to. I am humoring them, but my heart is still closed. Men like this exist. I want us to be able to spot the difference.
But I think as a man, you got to hold your ground.
Oh,
like there's certain things I won't say around my daughters.
As a man, you have to hold your ground. There's certain things I won't say around my daughter. So as a man, you have to hold on to willful ignorance despite being armed with plenty of opportunity to be educated and evolve. And as a man, you also get to do all of that, be willfully ignorant, while also being a coward who's pretending to play along with the women who are trying to teach you better. This man needs a gay friend more than anybody I've seen so far today.
Because they're raised in this world of gay men and women, and they don't see nothing wrong with it. And I tell my daughters that I'm from a different cloth. I come up different. I don't fuck with them type motherfuckers.
This is uncomfortable, but we have to watch this, guys. We have to be honest about what the landscape looks like in its entirety, not just a little kumbaya corner that I'm creating for y'all.
And I explained to him, I said, y'all ever think about turning gay, you better make sure I'm dead first, because I ain't fucking with you. And no disrespect to gay people.
He said all that and then said, no disrespect to gay people, though. Huh? But if a white person said, I don't want my daughter marrying niggas because niggas got lice, no disrespect to you niggas, you would see how ridiculous that is, yes? One more video, guys, before we pivot to the next topic, because I want to make sure, and I felt that somebody was going to say, men are horny, they're going to fuck each other, they can't be friends. I felt that somebody was going to say this. I love how I'm a little bit psychic sometimes. So, to Viral Clips 27 or whoever just posted that, well, they can't be friends because they're all horny. And anybody who thinks like that, here's a response from a gay man. I want to let a queer man speak on this behalf of this thing of queer men can't be friends with straight men because they just can't stop sword fighting.
Y'all keep talking about who's DL, but can we acknowledge the straight men who are very comfortable with themselves?
Can we? Can we? Can we acknowledge that they are straight men who are actually comfortable with themselves?
And their sexuality? The ones who don't have a problem being around gay men? I've literally had straight male friends who went with me to Pride as an ally, and they brought their girlfriends, so no, they're not hiding anything.
Yep.
So if there's a man that's always uncomfortable and saying hateful things about gay men, that's your target. All the other stuff is subjective. Okay, can we end this?
To be honest, and I'm going to remove the videos now because this is the next topic. To be honest, men who talk like that guy in the previous video, I'm not with that gay shit, are the ones that if you tickle their booty, I'd be the most worried. Irony. What did I say about misogyny being deeply ironic? Under the system of misogyny, it's usually the ones who are the most strict and scared to even breathe the same air as a gay person who secretly might be worried that they might want their booty touched. I think it's more hypermasculine to be unfazed. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm someone who's trying to be healthy, right? I do my best to be healthy. I think if I was to say, oh my God, I can't have chips in the house because I'm scared I'm going to eat the chips, that shows a desire for the chips, doesn't it? I don't want to be in his presence because I might like it. How you doing? All right, guys. So that was the end of us cleaning up yesterday's conversation around Zach and Bryce and saying, yes, we think that Zach is a potentially queer man who was doing some shenanigans in the house with Bryce, who, as far as we know, is a straight man. And however, comma, that does not mean that we're dissuading straight men and gay men from being friends. Just wanted to clear that up. Now, timestamp 21 minutes and 7 seconds. We're going to pivot to Sydney's story. For those of you who don't know, Sydney did a video that came across my feed last week. I think, yeah, it was last week, about how she was making $50K a month, was doing great at her jobs, was working really hard, was in a long distance relationship that was going well. And then because of a series of unforeseeable events, she ended up staying with her partner for a little bit and then moving back into her own space. And at some point when she got pregnant, decided, hey, maybe we should live together and we could be in the same house. And I'm making enough money for you to focus on childcare, stay home, and, you know, I'll be the breadwinner, right? And in the midst of her doing that, she gets him a nanny. They get the house. They have 2 children. It's supposed to be a beautiful nuclear family. She's killing it at life. And then she realizes that she's burnt out. And she's burnt out because her partner forgot to be a partner and suddenly became a dependent. My first reaction to the video, as somebody who is currently making the kind of money that Sydney talks about, but like would never think to retire a man. How did we get there? Right? And when I made this video, as a business owner who always is very protective of Black women who I see as living in a state of network poverty. For those who don't know, network poverty is what happens when you are doing really, really well. You're making the kind of money where you should be rich, but because your network is impoverished, you are buckling under the strain of being the one and only for everybody. Everybody's eating off of you. You can't eat off of nobody else. As someone who has had to work really hard not to buckle under that weight, I was initially incredibly protective of Sydney and then got confused towards the middle of the story. So what we're going to do is we're not going to play the whole video because we have her live in the studio. Sydney, if you're ready, be clear to cam up soon. But what we're going to do is we're going to just play part 1, which is I think about 60 seconds for anybody who missed the recap. And after part 1, we will have Sydney come up and speak for herself because I love it when we have these conversations and we're sincerely confused and someone wants to show up to clarify. Look at God, right? It's almost like this show is meant to heal and not just be sensational. All right, let's watch part 1 of Sydney's story.
Wonder what happened to the women who proposed to their husbands? Well, I'm one of them. Welcome to episode 1 of Rebuilding My Life Without Burnout After Marriage. Now, I never got down on one knee with a ring, but I did text him and asked him to marry me. 7 days later, we were in Vegas. What I didn't know at the time was that I was walking straight into the most burnt out season of my life as the head of household. But before you run to the comments with red flags, hear me out. I was grieving the loss of my mom, 1 month pregnant with my second child, and in love. At the time, I was making more in a quarter than most make in a year. So I was the provider by a landslide. 2 kids under 5, long work days, stress, weight gain, depression, completely burned out. I was building a successful business while quietly falling apart. I was fed up and I took a sabbatical, and with the anticipated support of my husband, intentionally reduced my income to about $10,000 a month so I could recover. The expenses of a family of 4 exceeded my adjusted income after using my savings. I felt the stress and depression creep back, and after a few failed attempts, I saw a divorce after deciding I never want to be the head of a man's household again. So here I am, rebuilding my finances back to $50,000 a month from the ground up. But this time, I'm doing it differently. No hustle culture, no burnout. Just creating an organized and financially secure.
You guys, I was going to continue, but then I realized, let's just get to it. Everybody welcome Sydney. Hi, my love. Can you hear me, love?
I can. Can you hear me?
Oh, perfect.
I
You're
can't
good?
hear you though.
You can't hear me? Oh no, hold on. Let me see. Is it an audio thing? Hold on. Can you hear me now?
All right, can you say something?
How now, brown cow? Oh no, Sydney, let's figure out why you can't hear us. Check your settings. And Edit mic settings. Let me see. Your mic looks like it's perfectly fine. You might want to open up on the YouTube to see if maybe
audio worked to hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you just correctly. Hold on. By the way, guys, Mercury retrograde, we're officially in the shadow period of Mercury retrograde. So the amount of tech glitches, and by the way, I hope you're going to see all the love you're getting. The amount of tech glitches that we've had before the show even started today, I'm not even going to tell you. All right, Sydney, we're going to make sure that you can hear us. Can you hear me now? All right, I'm going to take you down and then bring you back up. So I'm going to remove Sydney, give her a chance, and then bring her back. And don't you guys love how she looks exactly like she does in the video? All right, we're going to remove her and unmute her mic. Let me see. And then we're going to try to bring her back to the stage. Oop. All right, she left and came back. You guys, we're going to give Sydney a chance to leave and come back. This is live TV. This is what happens. I love the fact that, for those who said you were glad that I could reach out to her, no, it was the other way around. Sydney actually reached out to me and said that someone in her family, I think she said her parents. So because her mother has passed, I'm guessing that's her father and someone else, but that her family actually sent her the video. And so it's always funny when shit like this happens because, hold on, Cindy has entered the studio. Hold on. Perfect. She said she can hear me. You can hear me? Look at God. Yes. Look, Mercury retrograde is evil. All right, first of all, Sydney, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Now, before we even get started,
yeah,
tell me, how did you even find out? Because I made it a point not to talk to you. I don't know if you saw how short my messages were. I was like, I'm not going to talk to her because I'm a Gemini rising. I'm very chatty. If we had started talking, the whole interview would have happened in DMs, right? So I intentionally didn't ask you shit. But now that you're here face to face, how did you even find out that we had made the video last week? How did it come across your feed?
It didn't come across my feed. My stepmom texted me like, have you seen this?
Your stepmom watched the video on YouTube?
Well, I think someone who follows sent it to my stepsister. My stepsister did her mom, which is my stepmom, sent it to me. So, like, my family was just like, have you seen this? Like, we're getting, people are asking my parents questions and things like that. And so it came across and I don't know. I was like, well, I'll reach out and just like, hey, I seen the video.
Did you see how many times, like, Sydney, if you're here, please help us, explain this to us. Because I was sincerely, I wasn't even judging. My brain was melting. All right, pause for a second. How did your family respond to the video before you got to it? How did they take it? Because they're probably like, do we need to fire her? Come outside, Blue. We're not going to hit you.
No, it wasn't the video. I think it's more comments. So I think the video was fine. I think it's people's comments and reactions, right? Because my family, they know, they know perspective. They know the full story. And so they're just kind of like, that's not how that happened. That's not how that went, things like that. And I'm like, you don't need to defend me. And I tell my friends too, like, you don't got to get in comments trying to defend me or anything like that.
Oh, they wanted to be nuck if you buck? Like, what's up?
Like, we know the truth. We know what's up, or, the comments. It doesn't bother me, but I hate that it bothered other people who are close to me.
Well, I'm hoping this is going to be their redemption arc, where rather than them have to have Kermit fingers in the thing, they can just talk to us directly. I will say, Blue, please be kind to her, because it takes a lot of courage to see how blunt this space is and be like, sure, I'll pull up and see what happens. First thing is, I don't want to use your partner's name if you want to have an alias, or if you don't care, you choose violence, you could also just use his name. But what do we call this person, your ex, for the purposes of this conversation? How would you like us to refer to him? Voldemort?
We can just call him Bob. I'm fine.
Not Bob. I mean, is that his name? Or is just okay,
Bob. No. His name is very basic. It's so hard. Yeah.
It's very basic. Not even Joe, but Bob. All right. So Bob, how did you meet Bob? Because one of the things that really struck me and broke my heart was you talked about the loss of your mom, and we're going to get to that in a second. Mm-hmm. I'm the eldest cousin of my entire family. My mother has kidney failure. I'm currently the one who's paying for my step-parents, like my stepdad and my mom, and all their bills. I'm the cash cow of the family, right? And I know that for me, when I was in a unsavory, bizarre relationship, not even relationship, whatever the fuck it was, I entertained some bullshit. It was because he met me right after I had spent 2 years in the hospital taking care of my mom, and I was very vulnerable, right? Mm-hmm. So I can personally understand how vulnerability sometimes makes you not see the forest for the trees. But how did you initially meet Bob?
So my stepmom and dad had moved to Illinois. So when I would go visit them, I was just on app swiping to meet men, obviously. So
I know that's
before I
nice.
met him,
Let's get some new men. Okay.
I was actually engaged before him, and I didn't buy the ring. He proposed and he bought it. But it was a relationship that like was 80-20, really great guy, but it was like this 20% I just could not move past. And I think when I got ready, I was celibate for years after him, and I was like, your girl's ready. So I went on apps and I really was just looking for that 20% that I've been missing for years. And as I was swiping, I thought he looked decent. And so I reached out. It's Bumble, so women have to approach the
Oh
men to
yeah,
talk.
so
So,
you have to be the initiator.
so I initiated to talk to him.
Oh my God. And how did he respond when you hit? Because I'm very nervous about women approaching men, not because I'm not feminist, but only because, like you, when a man sees that you have the chutzpah to approach him and you got it going on, he then rests in his divine feminine in a way that I don't find attractive. Like it creates bad bitch behavior sometimes. Did you feel like he, despite the way that you approached him, took the bull by the horns from that point forward?
No, not really. Like our first
Yeah,
date,
try to help.
he didn't even he didn't have it. Like the first day was horrible. He didn't have a plan. We were supposed to go to a movie. He made a reservation. It was sold out. He had no dinner reservation plan. It was a horrible date. Like after the date, I was like, I'm never talking to this man ever again.
Wait, then no, hold on. How we get to never talking to let's get married? Wait a minute. Okay, so the first date was trash.
Yeah, trash.
So
Like
how did
we
you
cut
get
it short.
You cut it short?
Yeah, it got cut short. Yeah, and I was like, I'm never talking. Like I was like, he's not my type. Like I wasn't. The attraction wasn't there. Like once we got to, but the conversation was good. I just really wasn't attracted. It just wasn't really clicking for me. But when I went back out there weeks later again, he had been messaging me to follow up and do a new date again. I wasn't responsive. Got a little bored one night, and he was like,
Boredom.
"Well, why don't you come over? I'll order Chinese." And the movie that we were supposed to go see was now on streaming. He was like, "We could watch it." So I was like, "Fine, we'll do that." And you know, I went over there, and one thing led to another, and that became the basis of our relationship. Take out and hook up in the house.
So you were bored in the house bored, and he just got you in a week. Oh my God, this is a little too relatable. I feel triggered. It's fine. So the man that your body said no to, your mind was like, you know what? Fuck instinct. He's here.
Yeah, I wasn't looking for a relationship. I wasn't looking to get nothing serious. It was summertime. I was just looking, I enjoyed this company, no doubt. And I enjoyed our intimate time together more. So that's like how we got started. We never went on another date. That was kind of the base of our relationship.
So you had a half a date and then it was Netflix and chill moving forward from that point. The reason why I'm pausing on this is I can see how that could happen. And I also think that watching somebody else go through it is telling the audience, hey, you're probably doing what Sydney's doing right now. Maybe you owe her an apology. Because that shit happens all the time, right?
More often we think, yeah, it was just casual.
So wait a minute. So he's in Illinois and where were you living?
Michigan.
Okay.
So 2-hour drive away. Yeah, I was really on the edge of Michigan. So
Midwest people are very family oriented. I love y'all. Like just in general, I always find like people who are from that part of America, a part of my heart is like, oh, you're so wholesome. Like I want to have a family. So you're long distance, but then there's a moment where you mentioned something about a fire. What month did you meet him? You met him in the summer of what year?
We met Easter weekend, April. Easter was April, then May, June, we went to Vegas together. Oh. And I also, when I came back, had the fire in June and found out I was pregnant in June. So this is all within 2-3 months. Yeah.
He got you pregnant in 60 days.
That was the basis of our relationship.
Okay, so he was getting sex at least.
Yeah.
Okay, this is more understandable. Not to sound like a hoe, but like this is more understandable.
Which is why I want to tell my story that way. Like, oh, you was just being fast.
We don't judge here. This is a very pro-sex space. So what year did this all happen? Like what year was it?
Oh, 2021. So he was coming out the pandemic.
I think that the year matters, guys. Think about how we were all restless and horny and cross-eyed. And by we, I mean me. All of us in here were just, it was a rough time. And I do think there's no coincidence that I got caught up in a situation like that around that same year. So you come out the pandemic, you're bored, you're restless. The man is good at sex, bad at dating. You go to Vegas and then you pop up pregnant. What happens in June now of 2021 when you realize that your jump off has put a baby in you?
Well, he didn't know that yet. So when my fire happened, he actually was like, "Why don't you come stay with me?" So he didn't know I was pregnant yet.
Did
But
you
that
know?
first night, yeah, I knew. And I told him once I moved my stuff in his house that, hey,
City
by the
pause,
way,
city
I'm
pause, city
pregnant.
pause, city pause, city pause, city pause, Sydney. Sydney, you know that you about to sound like a city girl, right?
You know, listen, you got a place to stay. I got your baby, by the way.
Okay, so basically, at first, you were the one, a little bit of the Carisha in the situation where you were like, "Look, I need a place to
Yeah.
stay. There was a fire. You're offering your housing. I'm already housing your seed. I'll tell you when I get there." How did he respond when he thought he was moving in his girlfriend and found out that he was moving in his family?
Well, I don't think he moved with his girlfriend because we weren't even like in a relationship.
Oh my
But
God.
I think, but he wanted a relationship. Because we went to Vegas. I was talking to another guy who had hit on me. And that's when he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I thought you knew what this was." He was, then I realized it's much more serious for him.
Okay. He's the one who
So he definitely had feelings. So I moved in. He went through a lot because he actually had only gotten divorced from his first marriage only like 9 months before he met me. And now I'm pregnant with a baby.
This
So
is
I
why.
think he had another kid too. So so I think he was just like in shock.
Wait, did you say he had another kid?
He has another kid. Yeah.
He was less than a year out of a marriage and had a child, and then fell for his jump off, moved her in, found out she was pregnant. I'm just trying to think about where this man's mind was. How long
Yeah.
were you living there before you told him, by the way, I'm pregnant?
Oh no, like the same weekend, like immediately.
Okay, so that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair because I think the audience is like,
No, I wouldn't hold that a secret, dog. I told him ASAP.
You should write scripts and just and by scripts I mean just take your journal and pitch it to Tyler Perry because this is actually I did not expect this.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I think the reason why we're laughing is because this also makes you feel like less of a victim, right? It's more like, oh, I'm empowered to make better choices and have better discernment because I learned from what happens when I'm just kind of going with the flow. The flow can taste like backwater if you get flown into some bullshit. So you guys move in with each other. And I think in the video you redeemed him by saying when you were living with him, he was paying all the bills.
He was like, so when I moved in with him, he didn't ask me for nothing, didn't pay anything. Like he bought food, he cooked. I was still working remotely, so I would just work. He would go off to work and come back home, and it was just, yeah, he took everything.
Did you stay with him the entire time of the pregnancy or did you leave at some point?
No, once I found a place, I moved back out. So I was only there for like maybe 3-4 months. And then once I found a place, I moved back to Michigan.
Why?
So one, remember my mom was sick. But first, she had cancer for a long time. So my mom was sick. So
okay.
I was going to be in Michigan regardless. And so that, and I still had work, my ecosystem, everything was there. So I moved back to Michigan, and I mean, I wanted my own space too. So I at the time didn't want to live with him. We were still dating, still early. We were early dating and living to each other. I think we also had a lot of conflict because we were just really getting to know
Conflict
each
as
other.
far as communication?
Arguing. We don't know each other that well, only been 3 months and now we're living together. And when you live with someone, you just learn a lot more. And so we just had a lot of conflict. So I definitely was okay to move back home, move back to my place.
I love that we're pausing here because there's an assumption of desperation that people have when they hear a woman has proposed. And it seems like you were holding on to your autonomy with a white knuckle grip for as long as you could.
Yeah, I tried.
So you were still like in your second trimester when you moved back to Michigan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I stayed there until my son was like almost 2-3 weeks old.
Oh, wow. So at what point did you go back to Michigan, you have the baby, he comes probably for the child being born. Was there ever talk of him just staying with you at that point?
No, he had a career job. So he went back home. And at first we just talked about just going back and forth. And during my maternity leave, I was like, okay, I'll come back and spend time with you. It wasn't until after maternity leave we were talking about, okay, well, what's next? And that's when we made the decision for him to quit his job and come live with me in Michigan.
Now, who's speaking French now? Who is we?
Bob and I.
It was mutual. Who brought it up, Sydney? Be honest. Who brought it up?
I brought it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I brought it up because he knew my mom was sick. Like, I mean, like, hey, like, I do want you to be part of life. And also I had postpartum depression bad. Like, I'm working. My brother quit his work to be my mom's caregiver. I was trying to help her. Like, I'm trying to work. I have a new baby. And it's been rough. So I asked him if he would come and live with me, means quit his job. He also hated his job at the time. And I think some conversation could have had around there, but I did ask him to come move in with me. And I did not have the expectation to work. I expected him to take care of the kid, my son, while he was there living with me.
I know what it's like when you feel like the world is kind of trying to swallow you whole and you reach for a person to keep you buoyant. Like, I know that feeling, right? So as you're talking, I'm trying to empathize with you. And I honestly understand your point of view now that you're explaining the thing about your mom being sick and why you were tethered to where you were. If I was in a relationship with a new baby while my mother was sick, I would have, hell yeah, Beck, please drop everything, come get me. Come lay here with me and your baby and help me out. I understand that. My question is, why was him working, though, off the table? Did you think that childcare was going to be so ginormous that he would have to quit working? Like, why didn't you think about finding him a job out there when he moved?
Yeah, so I lived in a small town. Childcare wait list was 9 months. Before I had my baby, I did look for childcare, like adamantly. So I just lived in an ecosystem where jobs in childcare just aren't accessible in some communities. So where I lived, it was like 6, 9 months waiting list. Matter of fact, I got a call. My son was 2, talking about we have a spot. Like, I don't even live there no more. Like, and he looked for some jobs. Well, let me actually back up. When we talked about him moving, I offered to invest in a business for him. He wanted to open a restaurant and I was going to give him investment to do so. So he was going to work. It just didn't pop off. And I think that was part of the guilt I carried, that this man dropped everything thinking he was going to pop off in a business. He wanted what he seen me doing and I could make it happen for him. And it just didn't work out. And also, I don't think everybody has the tenacity for business. And I don't think that was his thing. So I think I felt guilty that he came with this assumption that this would be his lifestyle. And it just did not happen. So that's why he immediately did not look for work, because he was going to start a restaurant business.
So he thought your lifestyle was going to be his lifestyle, because if she can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
How much were you willing to invest, if you don't mind me asking, since you like talking about numbers?
100,000.
Oh my. Sydney, give me a second.
Restaurants ain't cheap.
Oh my God. Okay. No, I get it. I just give me a second. I think I have heartburn. You were gonna give him $100,000 to start a restaurant.
Yeah.
Restaurants are not only not cheap, they're also one of the highest turnovers in small businesses you can have. Like, most restaurants, like most of them don't last beyond the first year, and only I think like half of them last past 5 years, if even that. Was he a good chef? Could he cook?
He was. He is. And I think he had an innovative concept to bring the taste of Chicago to the small town I was in. And we had like an entertainment component. And I feel like he had a good niche and opportunity to make something work. And that's what he wanted to do. And I wanted to just back him.
100K is serious, though. How was it? Was it going to be a thing where you were going to be a part owner, or was it just a loan that he was going to pay you back?
I'll be part owner. I definitely would have had a hand in it because he doesn't have business experience. So I definitely would have had some involvement to try to make that happen. But yeah, I would have been a partner.
Can I be honest? As I'm hearing you talk, and I think the reason why I was drawn to your stories, because so much of you reminds me of me, and I've been in similar situations up until the proposing part or the baby part. And like, if you had to be a fly on the wall now and be completely objective, when did the resentment start on his behalf?
You know what? I've always wondered where that trigger, because I've always asked him, what was that moment? He claims he doesn't have any. Because I was like, something you don't, at some point you stop liking me. You know, and that didn't happen until he went and got a job again. That's when things changed, when he went back to work.
Wait, he resented you when he had to go back to work?
I don't know if he resented me, but like, it was like, I don't know.
It's resentment. I'm tasting it. It's resentment.
Yeah, but it just changed once he started working again.
Do you think it's because he didn't like the fact that you were making him go back to work, or the fact that?
No, I didn't make him go back to work. He wanted to go back to work. He asked to. So I think when he was at home, one, I don't think he enjoyed just being a stay-at-home dad. But I think there were remember I told you he had another kid, right? I think when he left his job, because I didn't realize the job was how he paid child support. He maintained that job for healthcare, which covered his kid. I think, but he didn't communicate this to me. He should have said like, I can't move with you because I have responsibilities here, and this is what that would change. That would have been a different discussion. But I think he didn't share that with me. I think he was dealing with things financially that was bearing him and causing pressure. And that's why he was so adamant to get back to work and get a job.
So how long was he living with you before he got the job? He said I had to go back to work.
It was about my son's about a year and 2 months. So he's about 12 months, a year.
What was happening with his child support and his insurance for that 12 months?
He wasn't. I don't think he was doing anything. So
Did you ever meet the other mother?
I've never met her, but I've met the kid. Yeah.
Sydney, you can hear it though. As I'm asking these questions, you can hear it.
Yeah.
Oh my heavens. Okay. So he's there for a year just kicking it off of vibes, being a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
To his second child, while the first child is, we don't know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And what kind of job was he doing before he moved with you? What kind of job was it?
Retail. So he's always worked in retail. So he like buys wholesale, trading, buying, does flagship stores. So downtown Chicago, like luxury stores. We love helping luxury brands do retail management.
Well, and I'm happy you kept talking. When people say retail, they're thinking that he's being at the Target cashier.
No, he had enough. Okay. He was affording a North Side Chicago high rise off of retail. So he made
good money.
Yeah, I mean, he worked at like 900 shops, so that's like where Gucci is, Bloomingdale's. Nothing in the store costs less than 500. Like he loves luxury retail.
Do you, when you date men, do you typically make more than them?
Always, yeah.
One of the things they don't tell women is once you start making 5 figures a month, you are going to be making more than most of the population, especially men.
Yeah.
Did you feel any comfort in knowing that he had a good job when you started hanging out with him? Like, well, at least this is not another broke guy that I have to worry about in that way?
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he took care of everything, didn't ask me to go 50-50, 80-20, like that was different for me. So even the guy I was engaged with, we at least, with something like that. So I really felt comfort and safe in that. Mm-hmm. And he was like, if this was our lifestyle, I would take care of you. But this is also baby. He didn't have the expenses of kids. It was a little different budget.
Yeah, that's true. So he gets a job about a year or so into you guys living together, right? Your baby was about 14 months old. He gets a job. At this point, where's your mother as far as her being sick?
She passed away. So she passed away 2 months before we got married, and he got a job 4 months after we got married. So that's why we moved, so he can take that job.
Okay, so how long had he been living with you when she passed?
10 months.
Okay, so he was already helping you, and then he was there with you when your mother passed. I'm just trying to think about what kind of support you were getting.
Yeah, and then
my biggest fear, and my condolences. Okay. And I hope you know that she's probably watching over you, and she's probably why you didn't get got, friend. What was the grieving process like now that you have a toddler, a husband, and all of that? Like, how did you grieve with all that on your plate as the breadwinner?
Yeah, not much time. And it wasn't until I actually took a sabbatical work that I actually had time to really grieve, get my tears out. I just kept moving because also who had to pay for the funeral, get the repast done, get the arrangements, arrange the headstone. You don't have time to grieve. You're still managing things. Then her affairs, right? You're an executor. So she has real estate. She has a home. So I didn't really have time to grieve. And then, within that time, he's at a job. So I had to pack up and get my place. So we're moving. So grieving was postponed. But having kids kind of triggered that, being a mom without a mom really triggered the grief a lot.
Was he supportive to you in that moment though?
Yeah, I think he did the best. How to support someone in grief is tricky. I think it's, how do you, especially a parent. So there's nothing really you could do. But he did. He let me cry in his arms. He, if I ever needed to go drop anything, he did. He would meet me across the state to exchange the baby because I had to be with her, if anything. So he supported. He did exactly what he came there to do.
Was he a good husband up until that point for that first year of living with you? Sorry, a good partner because he wasn't your husband quite yet. But for that first year of living with you before he got the job, was he a good partner?
I think he was a great partner. I think that's what also made me want to ask him to marry me. I think he was a great partner.
Okay, we're here now. Okay, we're here. Let's get to the part that makes my booty cheeks clench. So, how long had he been living with you when you decided I'm going to ask this man to be mine?
A year, yeah.
So, and he was working at this point?
Not yet. He started working 2 months after we got married.
Okay, so, oh wow. Okay, so he was unemployed. You proposed to an unemployed man.
Yes, which is why I paid for everything because he didn't have any job or any money.
Tell me the moment you decided, because I'm going to slow it down right now because I actually want to listen. No, we listen and we don't judge. I'm going to act like I'm wearing those VCR headphones where I can like see into the eyes of 6 months. I want to be you right now. I really want to empathize because you are so lovely and pretty and smart and whatever. So I'm just like, sister, how did we get here? Okay. What was the moment when the demon said to you, propose to him, Sydney? Like, what happened? What was the trigger for that to happen?
I was in South by in Austin, just traveling, doing my founder thing, and we were texting, and he was talking about how he wished he was there. It's not the first time. Afrotech. I'm like, I'm in the streets. I'm living my life while he's at home with yeah, with which.
I'm so sorry. The saxophones are getting louder. So you outside, like, look, I'm leaving you something.
Yeah, and I think a moment hit me in hearing how he was feeling, and I do think I initiated the conversation around, hey, let's get married, because I wanted to give him confidence. Maybe not the brightest choice, but when I say confidence, I think he was getting discouraged. He didn't have the restaurant he moved for. He's at home with the baby while I'm out living my dreams, traveling, having experiences that he desired. He's always wanted to have. And I feel like I came into this man's life and I turned it upside down. And
turned it right side up.
I felt bad. I empathized, and I felt like by asking him or giving the commitment of marriage that he would feel like what he was sacrificing of giving up his job, whatever he was dealing with, wasn't for anything. That was my logic at the time.
Pause for a second. You're at Afrotech, South by Southwest, just hitting the streets. He calls and says, "Oh no, I feel so small." And you say, "You know what'll make him feel good? I'm gonna put a ring on it."
Yeah.
Do you know that in that moment you effectively gender switched, right? Like the traditional roles.
Yeah, I'm not a
of if a woman is dissatisfied at home with the kids and he feels bad, he says, "Let me go put a ring on her." You really sincerely did a gender swap.
Mm-hmm.
Were you comfortable in that switch position? Because some women don't like it, some women love it. Like, were you comfortable?
I'm comfortable with it. People say being feminine. I'm comfortable with masculine. I've dated women too, and whenever I've been with women, I've always taken more of a masculine. Like I can be fluid, if you will. So it didn't bother me. I didn't see it as like a role switch, I guess. I'm pretty fluid.
Well, traditional role switch, right? Because tradition is very flat. The reason I'm asking that question is a lot of women complain about being uncomfortable, being too much in their masculine energy. And so there's an assumption that all women feel like that. And even though I don't like being super in my masculine energy, I love that you're saying that actually I didn't mind it.
I'm a Black woman in startup and tech. I'm definitely not uncomfortable with my masculine energy. I think I've had to put that energy on in business. And when I walk in rooms with men to ask for investment, that's something I've had to get a skin of.
What do you think about the women who say that because they are in masculine spaces professionally, it's exactly why they want the extreme opposite at home? You don't have that kind of feeling.
Trying not to send this to girl chat. I think I want that intimately, but not outside the bedroom. I very much love to maintain the control, influence.
Be who you are. Look, Sydney, I'm happy you're doing this because you are not what I expected. This is not the saxophones have been playing this entire time, but in the funniest way, though. So you're saying outside of sex, you don't mind being the head, the HBIC or HNIC. You don't mind it?
No, I don't.
So, okay, so you decide that you're going to propose. Did you tell anybody that you had come up with this caper?
No. So everyone just thought we decided to get married. Like when I called my friends and stuff, and they did check me like, you just went through grief of losing your mom. Like, you sure this ain't a grief thing? Oh, and at the time I didn't know I was already 1 month pregnant again with my daughter.
Sydney, give me a second. Give me 10. Give me 10. Sydney, hold on. Sydney, you in the streets ducking and diving, have you a time, decide to put a ring on his finger to calm him down. Whole time there's a new baby in there.
Yeah, I didn't know till after the wedding, but yeah.
Okay, Sydney, I'm so sorry, Sydney. Remember me different. I need a second. Okay.
Yeah.
So you proposed not knowing you're already pregnant a second time.
Correct.
You did say the sex was good, so we're gonna give him some bail. You did say he was good at that. He could hunch and he can cook.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't mind a man who can hunch and cook. So I'm already starting to understand the attraction. Hunch, he could cook, and he could take care of some kids.
Yeah, he's a good father.
That's a great. I wouldn't propose, but that is a great list. So you decide to propose to him via text. What did he respond in the text?
He was like, "Are you sure? Like, I would love to. I've always wanted to marry you. Like, I've dreamed about, this." And it was kind of conversational. I don't know if I actually asked, "Will you marry me?" But I was like, let's get married this weekend.
Oh, wait. You want to do it immediately?
We did. We got married in like 7 days from that text. Like that weekend, we were in Vegas, ordered everything online, and we went and got married.
Sydney, you're the man of a lot of women's dreams. No,
you know what? I tell him that. I was like, you know what? You got swept off your feet.
Like literally, it's giving Richard Gere in Pretty Woman. Like, what the hell? Like, I chartered us a jet, honey. We're going to Vegas. Oh, by the way, there's another baby in me. Like, this is so pimped out. Were you feeling yourself? What were you thinking at this point? Were you excited? Were you happy? Or were you just like another day being a pimp?
I was happy probably until the day of our wedding. I did have a red flag moment. I had blaring horns. I had saxophones the day of my wedding. And somebody was telling me, do not do this, do not do this, do not do this. I pushed through that anyway, and I still did it. And that, the moment where I was paid for my own ring, I think that was the flag, because we were in the jewelry store together, and he had played on a slot machine the day before, so he had like hit off of 20, like $300. So while we're in the jewelry store, he was like, I can't wait to get out there and play on my machine. While you got $300 in your pocket, he never offered to pay for the ring, and I think
okay.
that.
No, Sydney. I think you're going too fast for me. I know you. I know we joke about you being fast, but I'm a little bit slow. Give me a second. The man made unearned money right after being proposed to, and you still had to get the ring.
Yeah, and that's when the saxophones went blaring loud for me.
Say anything like, "Hey, brother."
I gotta wait. I said, here's the price of the ring. Like we were at Pandora, so it wasn't expensive. Like, just whatever it was, whatever they had like in the gift shop. And like when I said this is on a whim, like we were just gift shopping, grabbing things. And yeah, and some just told me like, you don't do it.
The saxophones are so loud.
Was so loud that day.
He was not embarrassed.
No, you know what? After the video went viral, I asked him like how he felt and if he felt embarrassed or what people think, and he disagreed. No.
He's still not embarrassed.
No.
Okay, so you are now officially engaged to a bad bitch. And what happens the day of the wedding? You said it was within 7, because to me at this point he's a baddie.
Yeah, 7 days we're married.
Why was it so fast though? Like, what was the urgency about?
I just think it was sporadic, spontaneous.
Okay.
I'm a spontaneous, sporadic person. Obviously, that's just something about me and my personality.
When's your birthday? I
Um,
have a guess about what your sign is.
February 28th.
Oh, you're a Pisces?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I mean, do you know your rising sign?
Pisces moon Taurus. I say my moon is. I think so. I can't remember my
Wait,
moon.
a Pisces moon or a Taurus moon? Those are very different.
Pisces.
Pisces moon and your rising sign is Taurus, you're saying?
Sorry, my rising is Pisces.
Oh shit. You're a double Pisces.
Yeah.
That's 4 fish going in opposite directions. This explains a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This explains the chaos. Okay. So, and what is his sign? I'm just curious.
You know, I don't know. His birthday is October 13th, though.
Oh, that's a Libra.
Okay.
Okay, this is making more sense, even though it makes no sense still. So you decided to get married, and was it like a courthouse thingy or one of those Vegas chapels?
Vegas, we literally did go to like get the formal paperwork, but we got an officiant and just did something downtown in Old Vegas.
I actually don't hate this part. I've always said like there's an influencer who I love who does really, really well. And she recently announced in like a 15-second clip that she was pregnant and married. Everybody lost their minds. I promise you, I could be pregnant right now. Ain't nobody gonna find. I could be married right now. Was nobody finding out? I love the idea of an intimate me and you, and then the family can celebrate later for their time, but we have our own separate time. You know what I mean? Was it romantic? Because I actually think that sometimes eloping can be incredibly romantic.
It was romantic. I mean, also we were parents of a newborn, so we slept a lot. We were exhausted. It was the first time we had a break from the kid, so we got rest. But it was romantic. It was fun. Yeah.
Aww. And did you guys have a honeymoon, or did you have to go straight back home to go change that?
Went straight back home, back to business. We did a month later, had a celebration with our family.
See, I love that. I love the idea of a private ceremony, elope, all the sex, all the naps, all the snacks, and then later the family can have us. Because I feel like birthday parties make me completely disoriented. I can't imagine a wedding. One of my best friends got married in Jamaica. She disassociated the entire wedding. So I actually love that you did that part. So y'all get home. How long does it take for you to tell everybody, hey, we're married? Or did they already know that you guys were running to the chapel?
Oh, no. I had a group chat. I told them immediately before any pictures or anything were posted. And my parents knew before we went down there because we told them. Yeah.
And when you said parents, people were confused at first. When I was like, oh, Sydney told me that her parents sent the video, but you're talking about your father and your stepmom.
Stepmom, yep.
That's what I thought. So you tell your parents, did nobody inquire about, oh, how was the engagement? Show us the ring, like all those questions?
No, it's so funny because as my best friends was reading the comments about people saying I don't have any friends, she was like, Sydney, if you could have told me that you proposed and that you bought your ring, I would have smacked the phone out your hand. You would have never did that. My friends like, we'd have never gone for that. She did not tell us. I did not disclose any of those details till that video came out.
So wait, but they didn't even ask. They just said, oh, they
no one even asked. No.
What year was this?
This is 2022.
Okay, so maybe everybody was still kind of trying to find new masks and stuff. And
oh no, 2023.
Sorry, 2023. Okay, at that point, everybody's just tired and burnt out. Okay, yeah. So the friends and family are thinking this is a regular couple that decided to elope, not knowing that Sydney Dunn took the man to the chapel. You get home. At what point do you find out you're pregnant? How long had you been married before God said another one?
Like 2 weeks. Like I found out as soon as we got back. Yeah.
Sydney, I need a helmet to listen to this story. Your life went, no, this is so fast.
It was super fast.
I'm a fast bitch, but this is, even for me, this is a whole lot.
It was really fast.
Do you recognize this is why you couldn't grieve, because you were distracted by all this?
Yeah, and maybe I put my own distractions in my way for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you were architect of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right?
No, for sure. Yeah.
So 2 weeks after getting married, you find out you're pregnant again. How do you feel about the second? Even though every child is a blessing, we're allowed to be honest when shit doesn't feel ready.
Oh, the second one, I was fine with it. I knew when I had one, I was going to have another, especially going through what I went with my mom. I can imagine if it was just one of us and not having each other, my brother and I. And I don't know, as a mom, something happens to me, I hope my kids have each other. So I knew when I had one, I was going to have another. It was the first one that I was like, I never desired to have kids. I didn't want to be a mother. Amen to those who are moms. And this is maybe I didn't want to be the stay-at-home parent. Motherhood just wasn't, I've grown into it, but off the top was not me. but I've leaned into it since. And I love my kids, but I was not, oh, I want to be a mom ever.
What are the genders of your children?
Boy and girl.
So you had a boy first, and then you had a little girl.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I can't imagine what it's like for these kids to see mom being a boss and daddy, daddy's daddy. You found out you're pregnant. Is he excited about the second child? Well, his third?
So his third, he was nonchalant, but I think he was definitely like, I'm done. He didn't want any more.
He says, unhand me, woman.
Yeah, because he's older than me. So he's much older. He's like 10 years older than me. So he was like, I'm done.
He probably was like, this bitch is fertile. I need to leave her alone. So he decided he was done. Did he snip it or did he just ask for birth control? Like, how did he decide that he was done?
I took more of the action to prevent kids. Yeah.
Okay. Because he still wants to hunch because he's good at that. I'm trying to give this man some credit because the comment section is tearing him apart. Somebody said my ankle hurts. Wait, what? What is happening? Somebody said, I think Sydney wanted to have children, just maybe not marriage. Am I too far off? Do you disagree with that? Because Sydney just said, nah.
I just wanted to have a little hot girl summer. That's how it started. I did not want kids or marriage. But hot girl summer ended up making me a mother, and it is what it is. And I believe in
what?
I believe in men have the opinion about children, because people come like, what if you didn't want kids? There's other options, but I also believe he had an option and choice, and I honored that as well.
Okay. I will say this too. I love that we're doing this conversation because somebody said 10 years. So yes, they were 10 years apart. A lot of times people see a Black woman in particular, and they think, oh, she was desperate for a husband and a child. So she proposed and she trapped him. Whole time, Sydney is slippery as fuck. Running these streets. Just want a little bit of Netflix and then end up with a husband and 2 babies. Sydney, we're more in common than I thought. That's awkward. Okay. So second baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
How was that second pregnancy? Now that you are a married couple, your mother has passed, you have this new norm that's taking place. How was that second pregnancy? Because a lot's happening with second pregnancy.
Yeah. So mid-second pregnancy is also when we moved because my mom's passed now. So I don't really need to be in Michigan anymore. He wanted to look for a job. Right. His family is there. My dad and stepmom are there. So it kind of made sense that, hey, let's just move back to Illinois. I don't have any real ties here anymore now that my mom has passed. So the second pregnancy went a little bit better because I have support. I have more family. I don't know anybody but my parents and him, but it went a lot easier than my first, my second one. It was good. He went back to work. It was a little hectic.
Married, right?
I did. Yeah. So I also got my son in childcare because I'm pregnant and still working. So now I'm also in a city where they have childcare accessible. So I ended up putting my son in school, and I just continue to work and enjoy my pregnancy.
So he's working where now at this point when he goes back?
Another retail. He went to industrial retail, doing logistics for retail.
So he got another job. He's still in the same field. He's now back home.
Yeah.
This is the part that confuses me. When shit was foreign and unknown and unprecedented, y'all were fine. Mm-hmm. Now you're married, back to his old stomping grounds, surrounded by more family, and he's employed again. And now we got beef?
Yeah, he was employed, but I was still earning more. And because we had now a family of 5, technically, me expecting his existing and my son, we moved to the suburbs, so we were paying a lot more. So he still can afford our cost of living.
Me and family of 5. The baby got another mother. Wait, where's the other lady? I'm so sorry. This feels like the polygamist. Where's the other wife? What is going on?
She's in Chicago area too. But his son would come. Yeah, so his son would come live with us sometimes. So I still accommodated Esther. Yeah.
You never met her though?
No.
Why?
It's not my business. I mean, I just stay out of it. I don't, it's your kid, your relationship with him. I don't what I need to talk to her about. I mean. Okay.
So there was never a conversation around, if a child's coming to stay with us, I would like to talk to their parents so that we have a mutual understanding about who's in my home. And
nope, it's his child and he's there with his kid. And if I talk to anybody about his kid, I talk to his dad about it, not her.
Did you and his child have a good relationship?
Yeah, we're decent. I mean, he was a teenager, so I mind you, remember, I'm not the motherhood girl. So jumping into somebody with a teenager, and I jumped right into that point of parenthood. So it was a work in progress because I'm learning teenagers are something else.
The spirit of fuck them kids is so loud on you. This is actually hilarious. And you're like, fuck them kids. I don't know, bitch. Oh my God. So you still a city girl a little bit. I'm so sorry.
You know,
little Mukito. Okay, so Sydney said, girl, that's not my business. So you were out here minding your business.
Minding my business.
At what point does him now being employed in Chicago and you guys being in this new space, do you realize something is off here? We're not connecting the way because it sounds like up until this point, everything sounded decent.
It was decent. When we moved, it was just, I think because he felt he worked 9 to 5, that I guess he was just exhausted. And because I was at home, maybe I wasn't, like I still was just, not only was I paying 90% of the bills, but I was still getting up with my son. I was still obviously carrying the baby up until I had my baby, and all the things, and getting him in school, picking him up, dropping him off. I while still working, and I was working around the clock because I had clients in different time zones. So I didn't have like a 9 to 5. I worked remotely. And
then pause. What you mean you were paying 90% of the bill even though he had a full-time job and you were pregnant? The saxophones are back. The saxophones
are back. I do think there was a lack of conversation, but he maybe paid like the phone bill and some utility. But our rent was more than his full month's paycheck. So I still paid the bills.
He was working for snacks and the phone bill? Was he the other teenager? What is going on? Okay, let me breathe. No, that triggered me. When you said 90%, that's wild. I wouldn't even pay 90% for okay. Let me breathe.
Yeah.
Was he not embarrassed at all? As a grown man who is fully working and a father of 3. There was never, did you ever look at him like, nigga, you not embarrassed? Like, did you ever give him the side eye?
No, not at that point. I still didn't. Also, maybe I minded my business too well. I never questioned about how much he made. I never asked. We never shared finances. I never did joint bank accounts. My money was my money. I paid, like, we never got, I don't think he even knew how much money I was making until we got ready to buy the house.
So to this day, you still don't know how much he was making?
I never asked.
Wow. I'm not judging, I'm perceiving, I'm processing, because none of this is what I expected. So at this point, you're just used to taking care of yourself and him. And so the muscle was already developed.
Yeah, just do what you say you're going to do. If you say you're going to pay X bills, just do that. If you say you're going to pay half rent, just do what you say you're going to do. How much make, I don't care where you get it from, how you get it. Just do what you say you're going to do.
Okay, Nino Brown. Sydney said, fuck y'all. Okay, fuck y'all and them kids. Just, you better pay this phone bill and buy these snacks, nigga. Okay. So you basically are very much in your divine masculine right now. He's very much used to you taking care of stuff. I think a part of me is just stunned because he was the breadwinner when you were in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And so part of me thought when he gets back home, back on his feet, back in his industry, that muscle would kick in.
Too. I thought so too. And I thought that was part of would be the, he would get back to him, like who you were, and it's like he couldn't keep up. But also our expenses increased too. We were talking about just him, and as a grown man, he had a kid somewhere else. He didn't have full custody. So he had to take care of kids in the house. He was lean. Now you're in the suburbs, you have to drive everywhere. You can't just walk everywhere like it's downtown Chicago. You have 2 kids, you have to keep insurances, and you have more expenses now. And his income just wasn't able to afford the increasing expenses that we had.
How much was the mortgage from the house?
About close to $4,000.
Okay, I live in LA. That's pretty, and where I come from, that's very normal. Yes. I can see though in the Midwest that's a little bit less normal. So you're saying that he did not find out how much money you were making. And by the way, I've learned not to tell men how much I make because that's all usually the end of the relationship.
Yeah.
You learn that enough times, yes? So when he found out how much you were making when you were about to get the house, how did he respond to realizing just how far behind he was financially?
he was just kind of like, what have you been doing with all your money? Like, what are you doing with your money? Because he's like, you
Paying
make a
these
lot of money.
bills, nigga. Okay, you know what? Wait a
Yeah.
minute.
But also, I was working on rebuilding my credit. So I was paying things down. I was trying to pay off a car loan I had at the time. Like the goal is I was strategically trying to position us to get a good house. And I thought him and I were on the same path too. Like you were going to get a job, pay down your debts, build up your credit so that way we can go get this house together. But when it came time to get the house, he didn't have the credit nor the income to qualify. So this is why I did it on my own.
But how did he find out how much you made, but you didn't find out how much he made? I would have thought you would have both presented your money to figure out that he couldn't.
He may have given it to the people who pre-approved you, but I never looked at that. But when they came back and they decided to go with mine, I had to provide a lot of documentation. So he's seen that and got to go through my bank statements, all the stuff that they do in taxes. Yeah.
Do you think a part of what broke his spirit was the fact that he tried to emulate you and it didn't work out with the restaurant?
I think that he won't admit it, but I really think just
my spidey sense. I'm a little psychic, and my spirit guys are screaming that that's the beginning of the end. Was that not you guys moving back?
Yeah, I think he admired what I had. I think he wanted a piece for his own thing.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen, and he never was able to catch back up from that sacrifices of just dropping everything and moving. Never got his, he had a, he ruined his credit by like quitting the job so his bills didn't get paid. Like he just never really recovered.
There's a thing that happens when someone convinces themselves that you only have what you have because you were luckier than them, and then you present them with the same opportunity, and they realize that it's more than just luck.
Oh, absolutely.
I've had a couple of people think, "Oh, what I do for a living is easy. You just go on the computer and you talk, and then I give them an opportunity, and they just kind of stare at the wall, like, oh, this is hard." Like people like to think that they can do what you do because it makes them feel better about themselves. I personally think that your relationship started to erode when he realized he couldn't keep up with you because now there's a spirit of comparison, right? And by the way, a spirit of comparison is called that seed when it grows, it's called resentment. That's why I keep calling it resentment.
Yeah, he would continuously accuse me of career shaming him, which is nothing wrong working like whatever you make and different careers. I don't, as long as you're happy, like, right. But I think he just felt like I career shamed him and like downplayed what he was doing. I think there was an insecurity there. Not into maybe if it came off that way, but not intentionally.
You a city girl. You might have been like, get your little snack money and buy the gas this week. Like,
I can get a little snappy with the tongue, but I feel like I would, especially like shame what he does, especially if it's one that was once providing for you in your life, like, and you love it. Like I whether you flip burgers, clean bathrooms at stadium, or white people for a living, as long as you're doing what you love, that's what's more important to me. First. I felt like I could respect his career because and I love that he loved it. Do something that makes you happy.
So the spirit of I see you big money is on him, while the spirit of fuck these kids, where's my Porsche is on you. At this point, you're in this big old house in the suburbs, $4,000 for the Midwest for a house mortgage. I can just imagine how big your house is. I'm doing the math, right? Because I have a home on the East Coast, and my $4,000 there goes way further than it does where I am now. At what point do you look around this big house and look at these two beautiful kids and the random teenager that you're minding your business about, and the dependent who's coming home from working a 9 to 5 just to buy snacks, and say, I think I might have miscalculated this? Like, what was that moment, or how long had you been in the house when it hit you? I don't think I planned this properly.
Probably like 5 months in when our water got shut off.
Was that his bill to pay?
It was his bill to pay.
Bitch, okay, give me a second. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm trying so hard to be open. Where's my chlorophyll? I'm trying so hard to be open-minded. This is testing me, y'all.
I think we weren't even in the house for a year before I filed for divorce. Like it was, like it was, but that was the moment and it was a lack, again, transparency. And I think you don't even need to be extra transparent, just proactively communicate. I think that's the part about protecting my finances that I'm looking for. When I say protect them is don't do things that make things an emergency for me, because it costs me more. Don't do things that raise my expenses. Help me keep the money in my pocket versus giving me reasons to spend it.
He spent the snack money and your water got cut off.
Okay.
Did you get overcome by rage when that happened?
A little bit. I was upset. I was hurt. I couldn't trust. I felt like it was a little bit of dishonesty, you
You were
know?
unsafe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were unsafe.
Um, then now it makes me want to get more control and put my hands around things and take things off the plate. But also now there's more things on my plate. Yeah.
So your plate got bigger, and now he's dealing with the saucer
Hmm.
with a single Twizzler on it and maybe some cotton balls from his pocket. This is screaming not equally yoked. Did you ever start to resent him when you realized that you might have bought a lemon? Be honest.
I'm trying to think about it. You know, I don't think I resent him. I just regret my choices. I think I just regretted my choices. I don't. He really has been who he is. He's been who he is. It's just my choice to really have acted on that and seen it. So I don't resent him. He did nothing but be who he was.
Be who you are. Now, I'm so sorry. This story is, my brain is thumping because it's almost like the more you explain it, the more I understand how you got there, but also the more audacious he presents because he himself wasn't bothered. It's one thing to have a partner who's mad at you. It's another thing when you're not embarrassed for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, the audacity is loud here. Who first brought up the D word, divorce?
Me, he would never bring up the D word. He would never want to get divorced. No.
How long have you been living in that house before you asked for divorce?
We were only there maybe about maybe were we there a year? Maybe a year and a month. By the time I attempted divorced. Well, not attempted. The first time was attempt, and then I got serious the second time. The first time I told him we were getting divorced, it was explosive.
Was it
And
right after the water bill? Was it right after the water incident?
it was a little bit after that, like because things just kept like just snowballing, and I knew I wanted out. I think I was scared to, I don't know why, but I was scared to like again like break this man's, I kept feeling like I just keep breaking this man's heart. I feel like I'm taking him through it. And but I was like, I just want this divorce. It didn't go very well.
Mm-hmm.
And he did eventually leave. And then of course he apologized, said he was gonna make changes, do better. And I let him back in.
How long was he
First
gone for?
months. Maybe about 4 months.
Well, where was he living for those 4 months? Because then somebody else had to pay.
Hotels, just living in hotels.
He had hotel money but couldn't pay the water bill.
Wasn't the best of hotels, but I think that was what he was doing. Yeah. On
Oh
the
my!
weekends, he would stay at home because it would be his childcare weekends. Yeah.
Also, he got housing whenever it was the weekend because he had to watch the kids.
Yeah. I put a paperwork agreement after divorce that, here's be your weekends, here where you can come when your other son could come. Like I put a paperwork in place. Like he was a tenant after that point.
So his other son was also allowed to come to the house on those weekends to hang out with him and his siblings.
Yes. Only when his dad was present. Yeah.
What was your relationship like with his son after the divorce conversations started to happen?
Really non-existent. I never talked to his son about it. And I asked him, I don't think Bob wanted to realize it. So he never told his son. He didn't tell his son till I filed the second time.
So he's gone for 4 months, living in a motel, hotel, Holiday Inn, coming to stay with you on the weekends with his kid, going back to the hotel, and that's a very transient way to live, especially if you have a 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
I think for most people, if I'm trying to be compassionate towards him, and I actually am, that would have made a man feel even more like a failure, and then it probably would have depressed him. Did he fall into any sort of depression during that time?
He has been depressed. He's been depressed long before then, because we tried counseling and therapy, all the things, and the counselor definitely was like, you have some depression. And I think this also being his failed second marriage weighed on him. And he worried about the example that he was setting for his son. Then he's like, my son, like, I can't be a good husband, and I have no example to share him being a good husband. And so I definitely was depressed. And I think I felt that empathy for him. I also can relate to what he was feeling about having two failed marriages. And I felt bad that he didn't have friends or community to turn to or lean on either. Even his friends turned their back, like, "Oh, this is your second divorce. Don't reach out to me."
Did he actually have friends though? Because I'm not hearing that. Was he getting support through all this? Because you were getting support. Was he?
No, he didn't have really good supportive friends or family. No.
The reason why I'm trying to take a more compassionate lens is because I can hear it in your voice that even when you say something like, "Oh no, I'm putting him through it again," what you mean, paying more bills and getting buying him a new ring? Like, what do you think you put him through?
Just the emotional toll. Like I know he really wants this picture perfect thing, and I'm not satisfied. And
You're not satisfied with 10%, and you as the math would
um,
say that that's a reasonable thing, right? 90 versus
it
10
is.
is not supposed to be satisfying, Sydney. Can you pan out and admit that?
Yeah, I admit that.
Okay,
Yeah,
because I
I know
feel
I'm not
like
satisfied.
he seems don't take this the wrong way because it's still the father of your children. He seems that he's in a pitiful state, and when you're an empowered person, it's very easy to feel bad for people who are pitiful. Like, I'm being very sincere here.
No, for sure.
What made you take him back after those 4 months of him living in the motel?
Um, just empathy and exhaustion of doing it by myself. I did have a house manager move in with me. So like I did have like house help maids and things to help me at the time too. But one, I just said yes, we'll give it a shot. It broke my heart. My kid screaming when he would have to leave. My daughter
Mm.
really is a daddy's girl. And I mean, I think really just with my kids, like just like that just didn't sit right with me for a while. And so I said, fine, I'll maybe for my kids, maybe I'll give it one more shot. But I was very specific of what I needed, what had to happen to make this work. And I admitted the minute it falls through, I will serve you.
Are there any of those guidelines for you guys to renegotiate back with each other that you're open to sharing? Because I think women who
Oh,
can relate to you are wondering, well, what could you have asked for that would have made it make sense for him to come back in the house? What did you ask for that was like a big thing for you to say, I'm opting back in?
yeah, to give a portion of his paycheck towards the bills. And timely. And if you can't do it timely, you need to proactively let me know before it's late to tell me you can't have it. Again, you can't make things by emergency because that's inconsiderate. So
Basic
you know well,
adulting.
yeah, you knew well before it was due that you wouldn't have it. So advance notice. So that was one. I asked him to apologize to my family. There was some things
Mm,
I just didn't like how it was sit, and I asked, so when we had the first divorce, he was explosive to me to the point where my, family had got involved. And and they didn't speak when it came to my child's party. And I feel like that's my parents and it's our home. You speak to them when they walk in the room. And he like you just don't ignore my people. So I didn't like that. So I asked him to do an apology. And then I think that was mostly the two core things, if I remember. Yeah.
what was this relationship? First of all, paying bills on time and giving a heads up if you can, and talking to my family is such a basic. Uh, the bar's not even in hell, child. It's under the devil's ball sack. Like, girl, those are the things that you deserved without even having to ask. What's your
Yeah.
father? Because here's the thing: you have a father present. We like to assume only child, like fatherless girls, get into these situations. What is your daddy saying through all this bullshit? That man probably was popping pills trying to keep himself calm.
So I also was raised that you keep your marriage private. And I think I went through this without sharing anything with anybody because you don't tell your what's going on in your household to people. And they always say, don't bring it in. When you tell family something, they will always think that way about a person, no matter
Yep.
what y'all you take them back. And also, I'm not the type that if you're gonna keep taking a man back, don't bring people in the mess. Right. And that's just how I operate. So everything that I detailed about what I went through in those videos, no one knew that that was what I was in that home dealing with. And that's just the top of what I decided to share. Because that was my marital business. So he didn't know enough to interject anything. Now, after that first divorce blow up though, um, he I mean, he didn't really address anything with them, but I don't think they ever had a closer relationship after that point.
They've been
And
close
my
before
dad,
this.
not too close, but at least a social one, a cordial one, you know. Um, at least a cordial one. But after that, I think my parents just more so concerned about me and just, you know, me and my kids was just a priority for them, especially my dad.
When your father found out all of this, including the proposal, the money disparities, all of that, how did he react once he finally knew the full scope of what you had been going through silently?
He didn't really address anything with me. Um, again, it was more, I'll say this. He said it bothered him about what people were thinking of me. Like people, say that I need therapy and you're desperate and things like that. Cause I think as someone's child, you think you think you're doing the best for your child or that your child's well. And the fact that he feels like the public consensus is your child is not well, that I think that bothered him, but I also assured him it's just comments. You know what we've been through, I've been through and I'm well. But also, I'm aware of the mistakes and choices that I've made. But I think that's probably what bothered them the most. When I say
Did you
them,
ever feel
my dad, my
judged?
siblings.
I know you feel judged by strangers, right? But did you ever feel judged by your community at all? Or was everybody super supportive because they had seen it pan out?
Yeah, they had seen it panned out. They're supportive. Some of them were like, I know your real life, and I'm like really shocked that that was your story, that was a truth. But also people who know I'm sporadic and spontaneous, probably like I wouldn't put it past Sydney.
I knew you were a city girl.
Yeah, Sydney left her man at home with a baby she just had 9 months ago while she out the streets. That does not probably surprise them. Like, like people who know me know like, yeah, they know how I get down. And I've always been vocal about where I stood with motherhood, how I feel about motherhood. So and just my relationship. They've known him a part of the process when we started dating.
Were your friends like really cool with him? Was there like a great ecosystem, or was he always kind of sequestered and depressed and buying snacks?
No, my friends were never really a fan of him. I don't think anybody was a fan of him at all, even my parents. But I had kids with him. We're family. We got 18 years together at minimum. We all accepted that he's here.
So he's back in the house, minimum rules. How does he ultimately fuck it up where you're like, enough, let me off this
He
ride?
ain't paid the bills. he was
Are you serious?
Yeah, it didn't last very long. Like he was at home like 2 months before I was like, yeah, that's not gonna work. So still just not paying the bills timely. Not or I'm short. Can I give you this much? And I give you social on the 33rd? Like, no.
Not can I pay you on the 33rd? Sydney ain't no 33rd. Wait a minute, Sydney. I said, no, hold on. What month is that? Sydney, hold on. This sounds like Tommy. We should have called him Uncle Tommy instead of Bob. Are you sure he had a job?
Now that you sound like my dad now. Like, you sure that man got a job?
No,
because where's his money going?
Like, Partisi or something, trying to put money on the horses. And when he's up, you up. When he's not, you not. Are you sure? How do we know he had a job? I'm being so serious. How do we know? Have you driven past his job and watched him walk in?
I have watched him walk in. I do go up to his job. I do think, again, there's a lack of communication. I don't know where I don't govern or manage his money. I don't know what's going on with his funds. And I do think when we had obviously go through divorce, we discussed finances and things like that. I do think that he was in a feast and famine mode and maybe took on some debts. And when I asked him about it, I think he was like, I took all these debts because I did want to ask you for more money. I feel tired from taking from you. I feel like less of a man from taking from you. And so, but in doing so, you just you just drowned yourself in more debt because you didn't want to ask me for money or let me take care of something. And so I think he just was in that cash advance cycle of borrowing, paying it back, borrowing, paying it back.
I honestly think, how they say keeping up with the Joneses? I think for him, you were the Joneses. I think he was so busy trying to keep up with you that he developed, because he was paying his bills just fine when y'all met. Yeah. It's not like you met him under a bridge and, cleaned him off. He knew how to pay bills before you met him.
Better credit than I did. He was good.
Ladies, I don't ever want anybody to tell me that I am not a feminist or whatever when I say that it is unnatural to be dating or engaged with a heterosexual man who believes in traditional gender norms, who you go and get him and do all the stuff, because something in him breaks unless he's incredibly progressive and he's happy and intentional about it. Something in a lot of heterosexual men breaks when the women, I'm going to say this, I've been thinking about a nice way to say this the entire time and I haven't come up with this. I'm just going to say it. I think your marriage failed because you're the man he wanted to be when he grew up. Everything you have is what he tried and failed at. And I think being in proximity with what he could have been but could not pull off broke something in him. That's not to blame you, by the way, because that is not your problem. right? That's a strength of character that he's lacking. When you said, "Hey, Tommy, I'm not sure you got a job and you've only been here 2 months and you still ain't paid the light bill," how did he take it the second time because it sounds like the second time was only 10 minutes after the first time.
Yeah. This time thankfully was not explosive. It was amendable. He was like, you know what, that's fine. Because in his mind, he feels that it could be a fresh start. He's like, you know what, let's just separate, divorce. I'm gonna go get myself together and I'm gonna come back and get you. I'm gonna propose to you. I'm gonna get you the ring. I've always wanted to get you. In his mind, he's going to become that man. He keeps telling me, Sydney, I'm him. Like I'm that man for you. And you're older than me. I feel like you're set in your ways at your age at 45. Like
He's
you
45
are,
doing this? Sydney, were
you're
you
not.
hunching man throughout all this? Y'all still hunching?
No, after the second time, we have not. No.
Okay,
He moved downstairs, separate rooms now.
I'm just scared
I,
about him putting the baby in you. I'm so nervous because you fertile, Sydney. I'm nervous.
no, at some point, even that became a turnoff for me. Like I lost respect. I know probably she lost a long time ago, but I lost respect. I was extremely turned off. I was
Yeah.
disgusted. I just, mm-mm.
So the second time he says fine. How long does it take for him to move out? And how does your community respond this time? Like, again, bitch, we just moved him back in.
So this time he did not move out, but he did move downstairs. So
Wait, he's in the
totally,
basement like Ralph? Is he still downstairs?
yeah.
Wait, Sydney. Okay, Sydney, pause. Sydney, pause. Is Bob in the house right now?
I mean, I'm not at home, but yeah, he's at home with the kids.
Sydney.
Because legally, I did. I asked to get the house, but legally he can stay there.
Sydney, you're a child. You're literally, what's that old saying? You're an oatmeal cookie that's actually a chocolate chip cookie that's actually an edible. Like, the more you talk, I'm like, what is happening? Bob is still in the house.
Yeah.
Why?
I can't make him leave.
Explain. Because he left the first time.
He did, and that was by choice. And I did ask him to leave, and he said no. And I went to court, and legally, we're married. He doesn't, unless there's some safety reason, I can't ask him to leave. Legally, it's his home too. It's a joint property.
Okay, Sydney, the chat is losing its mind right now.
Which is why I'm still in the house, so that's the way I can force him out, us apart.
I don't even. Okay. I did not. This is not going where I thought, and so please, I'm not being comical. I'm really processing this that he's still in the house. I really thought you were kidding, so it's just hitting me that you're serious. Are you legally divorced yet, or are you still separated technically?
It was finalized. We don't have the decree in the mail yet, but we just got through that process. It's been about like 9-10 months to get that divorce finalized.
When you see Bob coming up from the basement downstairs to go to the fridge, you don't want to like trip him? Like, how do you? No, I'm Caribbean, so I can't say on camera how I would get Bob out. Just know he wouldn't be there under my watch. I got some products. I'll talk to you later. How do you feel when this nigga walk around your house?
I don't feel. I mean, not every day is a good day. We still have arguments. Things come up, but it's helpful. Honestly, I'm worried about my transition of not having someone in the house, like with my kids full time on my own. So right now, it's helpful while I double down on doing what I got to do, like finding a new place.
10%? Is he still paying 10%?
He does well, so it's not consistent. He gives me what he can.
I'm so sorry.
But I ain't seen a bill in a few months, right? I ain't seen a payment in a few months. But
I'm so sorry. This is actually more. I'm actually happy we didn't vet this because I might have been like, it's too much. Okay. Somebody said, okay, so all the things I want to say to you are not legal, so I will refrain. Oh wow! Because I have a whole bunch of notes about after he left. We can't talk about because he ain't left yet. So I feel like I know the answer to this. What made you decide to do a public shaming of what happened? Because the video went viral. Like,
It did.
look, it was empty in my house. What? I know the answer now. Okay, but for the sake of no judgment, what made you say? Let me tell people how he has me fucked up. What was the moment where you were like, "We going public with this"?
I always knew my story was a unique one. I already knew it was a unique one. And have been doing like a content challenge. I've been looking to find ways to build community online. And although I've been talking about it, I think without people really knowing like about me, where you've been to really understand where I'm going and how I've been there, I felt the need to share what I've been through, to really understand the glory of what I've experienced and where I'm going and what I'm going to experience. And don't get me wrong, I sent the rough draft to my homegirls. Before I posted online, I was like, look, I'm gonna send a rough draft to you, give me your thoughts. And even the video about me buying his ring, my ring, the dress, even my friends like, people are gonna call you everything but a child of God when you post that. They just know they don't call you everything but a child of God. So,
well, we didn't do that. We were kind to you. We were just confused. We didn't. Well, I didn't call. I can't. I didn't call you. I said, Sydney, what's going on? This was going on, girl. So I appreciate it. So you were prepared to be judged.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to judge no matter how it turned out. Even if he proposed to me and it still turned out that way, there was going to be judgment, and my goal is to just document what I've been through and why I'm needing a financial rebuild in the first place. People know me in a space of being an entrepreneur. They know I've raised capital. I think we hear about people who made millions and lose it all. Like, why are you broke, but you were just a millionaire? I think we were interested in those stories, but we don't know why we thought you were popping off somewhere. Like, why are you needing to start over? And that story isn't new. We've seen it happen. I'm just sharing what happened to me, that how I got myself in financial ruins or financial debts and things of that sort, and need to rebuild in the first place.
Sydney, somebody said this really is Sydney. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I'm not sure if you knew what you were getting yourself into. I will say this: I'm incredibly impressed by your candor. Have you been going to therapy or just good edibles? How are you still? Okay.
Yeah, listen, some edibles, but
drugs. Okay,
for sure. Yeah, no. When I took that sabbatical, that's when I had the moment to feel like I dropped a little. Yeah.
Sabbatical. Well, I get it. Were you taking a sabbatical from him? When did you decide to take a sabbatical? When you realized that Bob was not leaving the basement? Like, at what point you were like, I need a sabbatical?
I really need a sabbatical because I felt like really the burnout I was having, I was going to die if I kept working this way. I have obstructive sleep apnea. I was 350 pounds. I was exhausted. I was getting up with my kids. I was up at time of night. My client, I lacked boundaries, obviously. My clients knew that too. And I was letting my clients cross boundaries. And I would wake up feeling lightheaded. And I just told myself, like, Sydney, if you don't give your body rest, you're going to have a short life. And that moment I woke up and I just knew I emailed my clients like 30 days, I'm offboarding. And that's at the time that I also talked to Bob that, hey, I'm going to roll back my income. So this is what I'm gonna need from you to step up and help with, and also I had a house manager coming at the time during my sabbatical too. So like I had support. So it gave me time to go to counseling, do the grief work. Him and I did some counseling as well during this time, just because we had the co-parenting and we need to just have a relationship. And my boundary issues, my issues with money, using money to control, like I really, I really need to take that time, really step back, and really hopeful so that when I do come out this, back on my own 2 feet and rebuild, I can just do it from a healed place.
You said somebody's mentioning right now that you mentioned the weight and the weight gain or loss. Did you gain weight from all the stress, or were you already heavy when he did this?
I gained weight after my mom passed because I was actually lost weight, looking good when I met him. And then, and I actually, with my first kid, I bounced back really good, was slim back down, and then grief and a pregnancy. And I did not bounce back after that second baby. And then I never had a break after that second baby too, with 2 kids and everything else. I ate through comfort. I wasn't moving my body. I was sitting at a desk working in a chair at the kitchen table. Like I didn't have a mobility career. Like it was stationary at a desktop. So yeah, I put on weight and I wasn't happy, didn't feel good, didn't feel confident. And I was just unhealthy.
When the sabbatical happened, you mentioned you went from 50K to 10K, and 4K was going towards rent, and Bob was paying for snacks, and you have 2 kids and a Bob.
Yeah.
Were you able to make that 10K work? I'm just thinking about the math here.
Yeah, I mean, so yep, I made the 10K work with the mortgage. And then the kids' school, he did help with that. So he paid a portion, I paid a portion. As will say, for a few months he was meeting me half on the childcare. So that was, but this is I
Oh,
think where he was maybe
childcare. Okay,
on
I thought you meant
childcare,
half
yes.
adult.
Yeah.
Okay.
But on the childcare. But I also think this is where he may have been robbing Peter to pay Paul type of situation. But because for a while there he was on it. Like I was surprised, like where you getting money from? But that so it was tight, and that's how I know like I need to make more money because in I know everybody has different means, but 10 grand for my lifestyle was tight.
10 grand with a $4,000 mortgage with 3 dependents in the house, one is a grown man, is actually not as good as people think. That you have to be strategic to make that cross the finish line.
And mind you, I was still paying a house manager like to help me move.
Wait, are you paying the house manager? How are you paying for the house manager now?
I was paying for the house manager. So I was really like slim. Yeah.
Okay. Have you started dating at all?
No.
What are your thoughts around? I'm scared to ask, but what are your thoughts around dating now? Because honestly, I was shut down for like 5 years after this.
Okay. Listen, I mean,
a dog to be a companion on the couch and keep it pushing.
You know, I don't think I want to do marriage again for sure, but I don't mind a good partnership. I know, when, I'm fine with partnership. You got a life, I got a life. You can probably see that's my vibe. I do me, you do you, and we want to do each other. We link up. Like that's fine with me. I love to work. I love my life. Yeah, and I want someone else who has their own life and loves what they're doing and loves their work and they're doing it well. We don't need to depend on each other. I think that's what I would like to do. I know I'm exhausted with dating men who can't protect or provide. I feel exhausted with that.
I fear that Bob has made you more of a city girl. If I was outside and I came inside and this was the bullshit inside, I would go back outside respectfully. I might never come back in again. So do you foresee that you'll ever live with the man again once you get the current one out?
No, I love my own space. When he moved out of our bedroom, I will never co-live with the man in my room again. I will love your own space. I love my own space. I was just happy to have my own space. But I don't know. I thought maybe when it's the right person, it'll feel different. I feel like there's some women who love having their men in their space. I just don't know what that feels. I've never had that experience to love a man in my space. No shade.
I bet her DMs are flooded with homosexuals.
A couple of hey beautiful messages.
Got 50K from me, big money. Did you get a couple of those?
And not that, but some men just like, hey, beautiful, I'm a provider, things like that.
Someone said submit application. No, I rebuke it. Nope. You need to fuck alone. Sydney, don't even look at that. I'm taking it off the screen. Pisces love to love, but we also love to be alone and to be outside. Well, somebody they're saying bless you. Somebody said, is he Haitian? What is his ethnicity?
He's just a black man from the south side of Chicago.
Damn. We're used to the Dominicans, the Nigerians, the Haitians, and the Jamaicans running amok. Look at this. This is good old African American shenanigans. Happy Juneteenth. Okay, Sydney said, I'm free as of Friday. How did he respond when the video came out? Did he have a response to the video coming out?
He seemed unbothered. He even, because we had a couple people podcast like reach out and like, hey, we love to have you both on the show, things like that. And he was open to it. He's like, I don't mind getting on the show together, talking like.
Wait. Hold on. Bob is down to talk?
Bob is down to talk.
Does Bob know about our video?
No. But I'll share it with them. But yeah, but Bob is he feels no shame. He feels like no matter how the story turned out, like people are gonna have judgment. He feels like he's solid in what we have, and so he says he wouldn't mind sharing our story. Okay. I was like, even me proposing to you, not care what people think about you. He says no.
even the part about him being, paying for the snacks and trying to figure it out, you don't think that would trigger him at all?
I don't know how you respond to it, but no, especially that's the agreement that we had.
Let's say Chicago, come to the front. His audacity is, I'm awestruck, honestly. I have had a Bob. I've never had a Bob who didn't feel bad about being a Bob, like for real, like in real life.
Yeah. No.
How do you currently feel about the man downstairs?
I always feel a little empathy for him. Like the fact that he has to, I don't know what he's gonna do when the house, like I don't know. I got where it looks like, where you gonna live?
Let me see, where you gonna live after this? What you about to get into? After I leave this house?
Like what you gotta, like I do feel like a little concerned. I'm really trying to hold my hands and not solve things to like solve his problem or things like that. And I'm trying to stand firm that you cannot come live with me. You cannot come stay on our couch. Like really stand firm with that. Because I do empathize with him. I feel bad. I feel a level of responsibility for us being in this situation. I do, because it all started with me.
No. You don't realize how he co-created this mess?
I do. No, I do think he has a role too, but I feel like I also led him and gave him the confidence that things would be to fruition how it was proposed in the beginning. Like he would have this restaurant, we'd have this thing going on and this power couple dynamic that I think he wanted, and it didn't happen.
But you didn't sell him a false dream. He just couldn't do his part.
True. I even hired him at my company for a little bit. Like I did.
Wait, you gave Bob a job?
I did.
How'd that go?
Not well.
Oh my God. Okay. Look at that. Bob done pulled the cord on the TV, child. Hold on. Am I still on? Hold on. Hold on. The screen just went black. Is it me or Sydney? Hold on. I'm switching Wi-Fi, guys. So I'm going to switch real quick. Okay, we're back. That was so weird. Why do I feel like Bob pulled the Wi-Fi off? Like, because the minute we started getting too much in Bob's business, now Sydney, I think it says you're in here. I'm gonna give you a chance to come on stage. Sydney, you're still black. Are you okay? Mercury retrograde, y'all. Where is? We're gonna give Sydney oh, wait a minute. That's not Sydney. That's the wrong video. Hold on. There we go. Sydney, that felt like the minute we started talking about Bob, something happened. I'm not gonna say. Can you hear me well? You can hear me?
Can you hear me? I still can't hear you.
Oh, come out and come back. I can hear you just fine. Okay. Yeah, come out and come back in. Yo, I have to do it. What the hell? Let's watch it one more time. Oh, it's too short. Let's watch it again. Sydney, you're back. Okay.
Yes. Now I stopped playing saxophones while I was gone.
Look, we needed to clear the air because somebody said she's safe.
Every time you zoom in, the volume goes away. The speaker sound goes away.
The sound keeps going away? Can you hear me now? Ooh,
I was hearing you just fine until you brought me in closer.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Is there anything I need to remove from? Let me remove everything from the studio to see if it's not some weird Mercury retrograde thing. Everything's been removed except for the sax. Can you hear me now? All right, leave and come back. Maybe you come in with the saxophones. Ciao. We're going to wrap up with Sydney. This Somebody said Bob is fucking with the Wi-Fi. Y'all, do you see why it's good? Do you see why you need to not judge people? Because what we thought it might be, and somebody said, "Oh my, Bob's energy is loose." It never occurred to me that this man was still in the house downstairs. It never occurred to me. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
It never occurred to me that Bob was still in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about burying the lead. The fact that you did all this shit and didn't bother to tell nobody the man was downstairs the whole time. You posting videos of the living room, you working out, you eating the snacks, you holding the baby, typing. Whole time Bob is holding the boom mic.
Yes. Yeah, he's aware. Yeah.
So Bob ain't got no friends.
No, not really. No.
Yeah, you can't do this with friends. Like if you have even a single friend, they're gonna be like, Bob, I need to talk to you for a second. So
absolutely.
You need to be isolated for any of this to make sense. Are you ever worried about your safety?
No.
Blink twice if at any point we'll watch the video playback later. If that Sydney said I'm holding my face up. Sydney, I will say this. If you feel safe, show Bob the videos. Well, actually, show Bob this. Bob don't need to see the first one. Bob already lived the first one.
Yeah.
If there's a time where you or Bob want to come together, I'm not doing Bob alone.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If you and Bob ever want to come back, you let me know because somebody said they could tell Sydney got hands. Sydney, can you fight?
I can fight.
Mm-hmm. Women who can fight take risks. I've noticed that about myself. Women who can fight, they be like, I'll risk it because if it doesn't go well, I can get myself out of it. Do your homegirls how does everybody feel about Bob now? Like your friends, not your family, because it sounds like your family got their own shit and they're minding their business. My family's the same way. My friends, though, like my friend Bridget, Mel, my assistant, they be wanting to fight people. You don't have no friends who want to come to the house and tell Bob to come outside right quick?
They do. They want to fight. They just like, I cannot wait for you just to get away. And like, they don't even like to come visit me, like, because he's there. Like,
I'm not coming over, no.
I know that, but like my friends, they want to come over. Yeah. So and it's always been like that.
Now, Sydney, when did you tell Bob you were selling the house?
Probably when it got time to draft the divorce things, because they talk about assets and things like that. That's when I said we would sell it, because they ask you how would you split the funds of the house. So yeah, that's what I told him.
How would you split the funds considering you paid for every fucking thing? How would you?
I did. He wouldn't get anything. I would just collect any equity. Yeah.
Did you get a prenup?
No. But I don't have any money, so I don't know. I reduced
all my jobs. Ain't no money. Ain't no gold to be dug. Bob's a gold digger, but ain't no gold. Okay. How are you doing financially now? Now that you're only getting about 10K and Bob is downstairs, has there ever been any time where he's requested money from you?
No, he hasn't asked for anything. No. Not in the last few months.
Nobody's hunching. Nobody's splitting bills.
No.
Sydney, you are now an adopted member of the Blue Crew because they're all very concerned. I don't know if you can see the comments on the screen. People sending evil eyes, praying for you. Hope you're okay. Girl, I am actually really happy that we're doing this because there's a level of empathy, not sympathy, but empathy that I feel for you. Now, you're doing this thing where you're trying to get back to the 50K from the 10. How is that going with this endeavor to start from scratch? Because you had all these government contracts. You had an app that you sold. You had all these funds. Did you run through your savings and now you're living check to check? Or what's the current financial situation for you right now?
Yeah, so I lived off my so back when I was in sabbatical, we kind of made how I was paying for things. Like I had money saved up. So like mortgage, house manager, things like that, bills, etc. Insurances, everything I was paying for. Then I did invest in a business. So I did start a new venture. It's a co-working space with childcare and has like spa salon suites in it for moms. So I put about 80 grand.
We're trying to get some money. What's it called? Plug it.
Total Care Studio.
In Chicago.
Yep. It's in suburban Chicago, northwest suburbs.
Open yet?
Yep. We opened a month ago.
Oh, yay. Okay, please, guys. So the way I'm begging, like it's my fucking money. Please go support Sydney in her endeavor. Because, girl, this is crazy. How is that going with the new business?
It's summertime, so it's going a little bit slow. And mind you, I'm not from here, so I don't have community in Chicago. I don't know. Like, I don't have friends. My friends aren't here. Michigan was my ecosystem, so I don't. It's a little lonely because I don't have friends. I don't have a community. I'm getting divorced, so like it's just me and my kids.
And Bobby.
And so a little slow, but it's holding steadfast. I got a lot of excitement about our opening, so that's interesting. I wish it was a little bit more diversity out where I'm at, because I'm in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, but I'm still trying to find where my own people are at out here. But it's going good, and it was a pretty big investment to do this. So one thing about me is I make shit shake, so it's gonna pop off.
Bitch, you about to give him 100K to flip pancakes, so we believe you. It's just, oh my heavens. Before we wrap this up, because we have to wrap it up, because I could sit here and be confused around you all day. This is a fascinating story for people watching like me. How do you currently feel now? Like, how do you feel about all of this? Like, when you sit in and you look around your life, how do you feel? Do you feel exhausted? Do you feel tired? Are you hopeful? Like, what mindset are you in right now currently?
I feel hopeful. I want to say hopeful. Just to like selling my house, like to get the 4,000 debt like off my back,
Yeah.
to like, and then also a place that has its own like maintenance and lawn. Like I don't got like do yard work. I ain't gotta like do fixing things around my house. Like I'm so excited for that. I'm excited to get a new routine for my kids. Um, I'm a little nervous about it because he is the better parent. One thing I'll give him credit on, he's more patient than I am.
He has the time.
Yeah. And he's also had the experience before. Like he's raised a kid before.
Yeah.
And I feel good. Like I feel hopeful.
Yeah. Hope is a good thing to have.
Yeah. That's why for right now, I think when I start to get more of that income, it makes me feel more secure, more cushion. I'm not a like living check to check or like just like not know what's coming in gives me anxiety. So like that's why like so ambitious to rebuild this income because I just want to be good. I want to prepare for incidentals. And I'm a little bougie. I like to do nice things. I want to be out in the streets again. I'm excited about having childcare every other weekend with our custody schedule.
I want to be out in the streets again, Sydney.
Like before I had kids, I was traveling. I was going like I was always out and about, like just traveling, and I have not since I've had a kid. So I am excited to just have childcare and get that break.
You know what's so funny? I tell people I have a friend who called me wild. I remember thinking, why would he call me wild? Like I'm a decent, regular person. Looking at you, and I'm like, oh, this is why men call me wild. Because they tried to keep a city girl down and she gnawed her leg off and still got free. Sydney hobbled away like, no.
Okay. Yeah.
That man put babies in you, gave you bills, put a tent in the basement, and Sydney said, City girl's up. I'm still about to be outside.
Yes. I want to get back to that. I enjoyed I do.
Well, you see, if I'm ever in Chicago, girl, I will definitely hit you up. Lunch is on me.
Please do.
It's on me. Is there anything that if you were speaking to, because a lot of times when we talk about dating, we talk about Black women who have put their careers first, did not get the husband or the babies, and then now they're about to hit 40 and they're feeling some kind of way. And now we're seeing a city girl who got tricked a little bit and got both and said, no, thank you on one of them. You're keeping the kids, but you're giving back the husband. What would you say to women who are in these dating streets right now, who are meeting men who can't meet them where they are, but they still want partnership and companionship?
I think that's okay. I think you can do life alongside somebody. I don't think you need to marry them, right? I think we could have just been alongside each other, been companions. We could I think that's okay. That's okay to have companionship. People deserve companionship. I just think there just need to be boundaries. What you don't give, what you don't share, cover for each other, things like that. I think that is absolutely fine. And I hope that's what I have next. It's just, I have my life, you have yours. And we have companionship. When I think is it Cheryl? She mentioned that she's been married, but she never lived with her husband. Yeah. Like some people, that's companionship. He got his own life, I got mine. We don't really need each other for anything. He don't need to be where I'm at, making my money. I don't need to be making his money. But we enjoy each other's time when we come together. And I think that's okay when it's healthy and they're secure.
They were
I'm
asking how
35.
old you. You're 35.
Oh no, I'm 36. Ooh, goodness, yeah, I'm
You're
36.
36 and he's 46.
He's 45, so about he'll be four. Well, he just turns 46 this year. So yeah.
I I pity him. I have empathy for you. You're saying you're safe again. If you want to blink at any point, okay. I just I as long as you're safe is how I always tell my friends when my friends go through stuff. I say as long as you're safe, I'm gonna let you lead. If you're unsafe, I'm gonna hem you up and get you out the burning building, and then I'm gonna let you leave again, right? So you seem like you're safe. You seem like you're in a good space. If you could go back and tell Sydney before all this started, Sydney in 2021, when she was bored in the house and in the house bored on Bumble, talking about he'll do. Let me go hang out with him real quick and see what happened. If you could tell Sydney from March 2021 something, what would you say to her right now? If you could go back in time.
Yeah. I would just say it is okay to like have fun, get what you need to get, but still make them work a little bit more for it. Like still let them pursue you, show up a little bit differently. Even if that's what you want to do. You don't have to date them, you gotta take them serious. But even if you're gonna lay down and be intimate with somebody, at least make them, have a little bit more standard around that.
Do you think Bob would have rose to meet it had you required more of him? I'm not blaming you for his actions. I'm just saying you keep on throwing him bail that there was moments where he actually was the kind of man that you could have taken seriously.
Yeah.
You think had you required more of him, then he might have stayed up there rather than dropping so far down?
I do. I think if I think I would have maintained a bar, I think he would have kept trying to hit that bar. And I lowered it.
Do you think that he would have kept hitting it had you not lowering it? Or do you think him not hitting it would have always happened because of himself?
Eventually, he would have not hit it. Maybe like in that first phase where we're dating, things were good. I think absolutely. And I think eventually, as I began to grow, because I was not popped off like I did as we started, our relationship progressed, I think the bar would have got messed. Yeah.
So basically, he was going to always be him and you were always going to be you.
Yeah.
Somebody said, forget about it. Marriage is not the answer. Be careful who you choose to marry or cohabitate with. He should have done the right thing and left. He doesn't respect you. Do you agree with that statement? That's a heavy statement. My God.
He should have done the right thing and left. Me with the baby? I don't know. Like, I don't think we ever. Oh, if he wanted the divorce, I mean,
when you asked him to leave the house, he should have left the house and not been a squatter in your home where he's not contributing.
Well, I don't see it as that. I did ask him to leave. Maybe I give people too much freedom of choice, but he does have a choice. He does have legal grounds, and he is a children's father. Like, but also he agreed to a terms and a lease that I put together. Okay. So, I mean, now if he obeys it, I didn't hold firm to it, and it's a struggle holding it up in court because I've tried that. Like, I put a lease, he's breaking the lease. Like, is this giving grounds to be moved? I took those things. I do think he has shown me that he doesn't respect me. Maybe not through that example specifically, but just the lack thereof just shows me you don't respect me. When I would document and just say, someone asked me like, when you got divorced, how do you act? He actually started to like let me get rest, taking care of the kids, getting the kids up, doing their hair, and it just showed me that you were always capable the whole time. You were just making a choice not to. Yeah,
you were always capable.
You're always capable. You told me when the fact that you started to do it after I filed for divorce shows me that you were always able to do it. You was just choosing not to, and that's the part that like showed me you really don't like me.
What they call that weaponized incompetence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sydney, what is the biggest? My last question before I let you go, because this has been so riveting. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Have you had a good time?
You've been a blast. Yes.
Okay, because baby, I'm going through it. Like I'm having all the reactions live, and it's rare that I can ask the person. I did not want you to feel judged, so I pray to God that you don't feel judged because I've done some dumb shit. Okay, if you follow this page long enough, you'll hear about it. And I want to ask you, what is the biggest misconception about you? Because even though I was actually holding space to let you reveal yourself, I was still taking it back on some of what you said. What do you think is one of the biggest things that people get wrong about you from a distance?
From a distance,
or up close. Bitches can be wrong up close too.
I think from this, I think that that I desired or desperate, to be attached to somebody.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want. I don't want to be attached. That I'm pick me or desperate. I wanted marriage so bad. I dragged him to the altar. Low self esteem. I may give a little way on the self esteem on that part,
Yeah,
but
what you're going through, you had to have low self-esteem because you were
yeah,
grieving,
self esteem.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that I think is a misconception. In that I think what people got right is there was some money management. I do realize I had money management issues, and a interesting relationship with money.
Yeah.
Things like that. I think I use money as a form of control. People say manipulation, but I do think I use
Ooh,
it for
pause, pause.
influence.
I love that you said that. A lot of women and men, but a lot of people who have money who argue or not argue, complain that they overgive, don't realize they're overgiving as a form of control. And I love that you
So
can admit that.
yeah. I realize that's exactly what I was doing and leveraging.
Yeah.
To especially when you know someone can't meet you, or they're in a situation where they can't, they're relying upon you, and it's a level of control too. So again, a lot of work. So a lot of people had it on the nose. A lot of people were very wrong
Right,
about
right.
my intention and how I got started. But
You
yeah.
couldn't have guessed this. This story is not anything that could have been guessed. I'm gonna ask you something really vision oriented for us to leave because you're a visionary, right? You've done all this work. It shows that you have a sense of vision. 5 years from now, it is now 2031. Oh my God. Jesus, what?
I know, right? That sounds crazy to say.
What the fuck? It came out of my mouth and my body's rejecting. Okay. It's 2031 and the aliens have not come to eat our faces yet. It's June 2031. Paint me a brief picture. Where are you? Where's Sydney? June 2031. My God.
I hope I'm living somewhere a lot warmer with my kids. And I still hope I'm on stages speaking to women. Because what came out of this is a lot of women who may not propose to their husbands, but I think we've experienced some weaponized incompetence from men, whether however they started. And we
Yeah.
always are breadwinners. We make money and we love our careers. Not every woman wants to be a stay-at-home mom and be with the kids all day. We like to work. We like to do in our own element. And some of us have to do it as single mothers. And I think that's a new journey for me. Well, not really, because I always feel like I was a single mom, I guess, anyways, through it. But I think that's where I see in 5 years is me being able to speak to women, to help them break through the mindset. Maybe I need to help them tap into their masculine energy. I don't know, to because I find that the women just lack confidence in job markets, and when they get in these rooms, especially in such male dominated careers, and when that wealth goes up, the rooms look a lot different than us.
Yeah, it does.
And really helping them tap into that energy and how they need to show up, how they need to position themselves. And I hope to finally have a partnership that feels
Mm.
equally yoked. Don't have to be my husband, don't have to be with, but like that a companion, someone I can enjoy, someone who is solid in who he is, I'm solid in who I am. That's all I really want. And that's fine. I just want to be financially comfortable, stable, and have good company.
And where's Bob?
You know what? I hope he's in retail doing what he loves, and I hope he has a nice place for my kids to live with a backyard, because I
Okay.
my kids still have to go there. I want them to be somewhere safe. I want them to have a home they enjoy going to. My parents were divorced, obviously, the going back and forth. Being a product of divorce, I also don't want to take my kids through some things. I want a healthy relationship. I want to
Yeah.
talk and still go on trips together. My parents act like they couldn't be in the same room together. Like, I don't want that. Like, I want us to still have barbecues and be a unit for my kids. So I hope that's where we are. And that he can do that genuinely and not trying to continue to pursue me.
Has he given up on wanting you back, or does he still think he's gonna force you?
He buys me flowers every week.
Okay, you know what? On that note, Bob is still buying flowers from the basement. Jesus wept.
Yeah, he made it clear he's going to continue to try to salvage anything. I mean, it goes that way for Bennett. Then, maybe a legal dot comes, he explodes, he calms down, and things like it's just a repeated cycle, which is why we'll just work when a house gets sold, we can just go our own ways.
Sydney, if I find out that you back with Bob, we
I guarantee you that is not going to happen. Yeah, well, I
6 months may pass.
I can't. Every time I think just about the experience, mostly like him wrecking my mom's car or like the kid thing and not getting up or handing me the kids to go back to sleep, like that replays in my mind and pisses me off again. And I'm like, I can't get past it.
He wrecked the
I can't
car
get
of the
past
mother
it.
who passed away. Don't piss me off, Sydney. Your mother who passed away, he wrecked her car.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's stop here before I start. Like, I've been keeping it cute, but that's about to piss me off in a whole different kind of way. Please protect your peace, even though because he's still in your space. I have a candle shop where we do intention work. I'm gonna get your address when we open back up and send you a care package of candles and spiritual baths. I need you to wash Bob away out your system. How long have you guys been broken up since the last time you were together as a couple? How long has it been?
10 months. So it's been a while.
Okay, so we're almost at the year mark.
Yeah.
Okay. So that sounds like it's real. Okay.
Well, yeah, it's real.
Sydney, tell everybody where they can find you because my God, this was a roller coaster. We had a whole other hot topic. Y'all, I'm ending the live after this. I need a drink. Not a drink. I'm not eating. I'm about to have a legally obtained edible. Sydney, tell everybody where they can find you and how they can support you.
I am Sydney Lorraine on all social media. And if you like to, check out Total Care Studio if you're ever in Northwest Chicago and leave us a Google review.
For the Blue Crew who's in Chicago or going to be in Chicago, please check out Sydney's location. And if you go there, let her know that you're part of the Blue Crew. Give us a shout out. Let her know that you care about her. Don't be weird and ask too many questions that are invasive. Don't be weird, right? Because I don't want you to be at work about, so how's Bob? Don't do that. Don't embarrass me. Sydney, I hope you had fun doing this.
I did. Thank you for having me.
This was so good. Send this to your family and let them know that you were safe.
I'm sure they're watching. Thanks.
This was so good. Thank you, my love. Say bye to Sydney, everybody. Oh, guys, I don't have it in me to do the next topic. I don't know what I expected. I came in with a clean slate. This is why I let people talk. This is why I let people tell me their story without jumping to conclusions. And sometimes you're like, Blue, you're being so kumbaya because you know damn well. I'm like, no. As somebody who gets misunderstood a lot, I do my best not to misunderstand within reason. So we're gonna end this live here. If you are gonna watch the recap, you guys know we love to give recap comments to put in the comment section to show us that you're engaging with us. Oh, my YouTube manager told me to tell y'all, please start liking and hyping the videos. Please like the video and hype the video because there's a scoreboard on YouTube where they gauge how well we're doing on this page and how much they want to push us out to other people based on liking and hyping. And speaking of liking and hyping, I can't believe I forgot to say this. We, over the weekend, hit 50,000 followers. I'm so excited. This time last year, I had like 22,000. So we have 50K. We are halfway now, a little bit more than halfway towards the 100K mark. You know, if you get 100K, YouTube sells you a cute little plaque that you could have in the background or whatever. So y'all, we are now on the road to 100K. I have never been somebody who's given a fuck about subscribers, but now that, you know, we're halfway there, why the fuck not? So please subscribe if you haven't already, because based on the metrics, about 40% of you who come here religiously are not following me. So please subscribe. If you are a member though, which is a level past subscribing, we are going to be having a special Love Island recap this Saturday. We're going to do the main show for everybody, and then the members only area, we're going to have a kiki with my good Judy, with my Haitian play cousin Mike Goyo. His videos are amazing all over TikTok, and we're going to get his real greasy thoughts behind the paywall where it's safe to talk about what is going on with Love Island. And before anybody asks me, Carl, huh? Carl. Billy Anaya, Carl. For the 40% who don't watch Love Island, we'll tell you who Carl is during our next recap. So yeah, guys, I'm about to leave y'all alone. There's one more video that I wanted to do, but because of all this, we're not going to do it because I'm going to stop now. I'm going to take a woosah. My brain hurts. So I'm either going to come back on a random surprise day. Oh, before I leave, the recap comment. I almost forgot. The recap comment for today is never judge a book by its cover. Sydney is better than we imagined. Never judge a book by its cover. Sydney is better than we imagined. Okay? Because her family had to watch out talking big shit, pissing off her cousins, her play cousins, her stepmommy, her daddy, and them. Let's course correct by having the comments full of love as a way to let them know that the Blue Crew is not on some bullshit, okay? Never judge a book by its cover. Sydney is better than we imagined. And yeah, sometime this week, if I have the bandwidth, maybe actually, I've been working a lot. I need to stop. I'll see y'all Saturday. I might come back before Saturday, but I really need to chill the fuck out and see y'all Saturday. Also, last month I was on the Joe Budden podcast. What I did not tell you is while I was at the Joe Budden podcast, I actually got hit up by a network show that wanted me to come on and do some commentary. And I couldn't be on the show because I was with Joe Budden. Well, they hit me up today and said, Blue, we still want you back. So I'll have an announcement sooner than later about my next appearance on, actually, I think I have 2 appearances that week. Jesus, what's going on? Yeah, so there's a lot of great stuff happening this summer. I love y'all so much. Shout out to everybody with the evil eye who's failed. Look at me still winning. Ha. And I think this is probably a great reminder that you need to be careful about judging people, because a lot of you who are talking big shit about Sydney are now writing in the comments, oh my God, I could totally see her being a good friend. Right? The comment to put in the recap comments, not in these comments, but the recap comments when I log off is, never did a book by its cover. Sydney's better than we thought. I love you so much, Blue Crew, for rocking with us. Thank you so much to Sydney for coming on. Thank you so much to her family for letting her know that we were talking about her, lovingly, of course. And Bob, if you come on the show and Sydney makes you watch this, just be prepared to give real answers, okay? No shrugging or I don't know or it just bees like that, okay? You see how Sydney, how your wife came on and was open and communicative? That is the bar that you actually can meet if you ever come on, okay? And guys, if Sydney does come back, I'll give you a heads up and please support her business. All right, I love you, family. I'm going to go rest now. Bye.